Are you ready to unleash your creative razzle-dazzle? Then join the Canary Cry new stock producers and make some refrigerator art for the show. Show your support with your talent at canarycry.party. Your mom will thank you.
Razzle Dazzle. It's Body by Basil, the new exciting fitness craze that will get you Canary Cry swole in no time at all. Just listen to these quotes from our participants. My muscles are huge. It's all or Nephilim. You'll be an apocalypse warlord in no time. Don't wait. Order today and save 33% for just 4 easy payments of only $33.33. You too can have the body of a googly eye VR headset wearing Nephilim warlord.
A new, raw deconstruction of news and analysis. Introducing Canary Cry New Stalk, the new intense fragrance made specifically for thinking outside the cage. From your favorite podcasters, Basil and Goms.
Gons, can you hear me? I'm hearing reports about a prototype Flippy arm.
Don't tell me. Flippy is coming for our jobs.
That's right. You know what this means.
Yeah, it's wake-up time. Think outside the cage.
Hey everybody, you've done it. We've made it. We're here together. We are at the Canary Cry pre-stream. Pre-stream? Yeah, just the pre-stream. That's what it is. Geez. Thanks for being here. Hey, just a quick reminder. You can get text messages from us before every show. Maybe you're listening to this later. Maybe you're like, oh, if you want to do that, you can get text messages from us before every show. We don't take any information, no names, no nothing. An unmonetizable list of people who get a text from us before every show. Right now that's been twice a week, but it could be up to 3 times a week. All you gotta do is text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. Again, that's 877-740-3226. Text Canary. You'll be put on the list. And remember, the fun part is you can text me back. I cannot hold a conversation with you because it is extremely expensive. But you can send fun little messages, encouragement, tell me about your day. Somebody here last show sent Romans 5:3-5, which is a good one. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit, who has been given to us. See, this is great, folks. Speaking of which, you can join the newsletter. If you go to canarycry.party, you'll see a button to join the newsletter. That also just goes out before every show. For those who read the newsletter, which there's a decent amount of you out there, it has basically just become Basil's holy hype newsletter. I have nothing left to give except for whatever words of encouragement the Lord is giving me, whatever, connection to the troubles that people are having, just, sharing my own, the fruits of my own devastatingly serious prayer life. So, if you want to read that, you can join the newsletter, canarycry.party. Let's see, who else sent text messages? Somebody texted, I can't remember if I read this one, but they said, I like pants. Okay, good, glad. Somebody sent, let's see here, Psalm 140:13. Surely the righteous will give thanks to your name, the upright will dwell in your presence. And also Psalm 141:1-2. I call on you, O Yahweh, hasten me, listen to my voice when I call you. Let my prayer be set before you as incense, the lifting up of my palms, lifting up of my palms as the evening offering. Hallelujah. Let's see here. Somebody just texted just now, says, hallelujah. In all things, praise his holy name. Love to all. Love it. See, this is good stuff, folks. And you can join the party by getting on the text message alert system. Text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. Yeah, do that. Again, I'm just going to say a little prayer before the show here. So everybody bow your heads and thank the Lord for this day. Lord, we praise you in all things. We thank you for the unimaginable favor that you've shown us all, individually and corporately, and the astonishing favor you've shown for this show. We're in awe of the work that you've done through and in spite of your imperfect servants. So many of us feel the heat and see the flames around us, but when everything seems lost, when the world is on fire, we praise you because you're here standing in the inferno with us. We love you because you loved us first, and we thank you and submit to your authority because you are our Heavenly Father and we are your humble sons and daughters. May any pride we feel be pride in our Father, and any authority we have is given to us by our Father in heaven. Whatever we go through, whatever events tempt us with the thought that you've abandoned us, whatever darkness or danger surrounds us, we lean in closer to you, trust in you, and rest in the absolute sovereign protection of your wings, God. Make our hearts an impenetrable fortress and guard us from any spirit, principality, or power that is adversarial to your goodness and your will for our lives. We pray this all in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen and amen. Let's get the show started.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is May 22nd, 2024. We are live to tape on episode 743. And today, AICCIA. Oh, jeez. And signing on from off the grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil, and you, friend, are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit Films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from the land of New Scum to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's emergent phenomenon, bamboozled. We've all been bamboozled, Basil. So many different layers of bamboozling going on out there.
Yeah.
Just gotta be aware. Gotta be aware.
Once again, the Canary Cry producers and listeners are going to get the real scoop on some unfortunate dropping the ball of other alternative media. So, we were just talking before the show. It's as ludicrous as our show titles are, as unclickable our show titles could possibly be. There's a special group of people out there who actually care about not getting bamboozled by alternative media as well as the mainstream media, and they're here right now. Thank you.
If you're watching live on X, or maybe not live on X afterward, do the whole thing. Follow us, retweet us. Is that what it is? What is it now? Repost? I don't know what it's called now. Yeah, give it a heart, tag some people, get people in here. We got a long summer ahead, folks. It's going to be wild moving up to the election. So
how do they do it? They do it.
Gotta do it.
One like equals one praise Jesus.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they supposedly get more likes by doing that. One like equals one hallelujah, folks. Hit the like button.
That's there you go.
What's the deal with the show title? Why? What is it?
It will become clear.
You wanted to hear my attempt at it, and
yes,
I gave it to you.
I did. No, it was pretty good. There is no official way to say it. This is a word that's made up, obviously. But basically, we're talking about the CIA today.
Okay.
And their AI. And so the AI seem to be bringing about either a C, which could be a Christ, a type of Christ, or a counterfeit, depending on how you're looking at it. Totally. So yeah, AICCIA. And you know, we're living in that Black Mirror world, so might as well.
Yeah, and we wonder why more people don't find the show. It's good.
If you can't keep up, then you're not supposed to be here anyway, all right?
Yeah, that's true. The Lord brings the people who need this show to the show, and absolutely no one else.
If you're here, if you found your way here, just let it be known that it's the Lord that led you. We did not inspire or chemically manipulate your brain to get you here.
The divinely orchestrated series of events that led you to this show. God put some work into that. This is not an accident.
Deployed some angels for that, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get the show started. Why don't you hit that disclaimer, Guns?
Let's disclaim. Oh, I'm not ready for that. Oh, here we go. Disclaimer.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up.
YouTube. That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys.
That's right, Guns. And why don't I give you a rundown?
Are we slowing down somehow?
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
Starting off, chaos and lockdown at the Republican National Convention headquarters. What happened? Something was delivered. Was it something bad? Was it something that explodes? Was it white powder, or was it something else entirely? Keeping everybody very confused over at the RNC. Then we'll also be checking in, of course, with the CEO who manages AI for the CIA and explains why it's like your crazy drunk friend. Good. Thank you. That's exactly what we want. Flippy update, we will be touching base with the literal Chinese knockoff of Boston Dynamics and how you can get one in your house today. Then Microsoft confirms Windows 11 recall. Guns has some very serious questions about this Windows 11 AI thing, and I think we all do. They took a really hard swing at the panopticon technocratic utopia that they crave so much, but as we know, you swing hard, you can miss hard. And then hitting the airwaves, the headlines across the internet, World Economic founder Klaus Schwab stepping down? Well, we'll bring you the real story. At the end of the show, we're just going to be having some fun with some hairy legs gaffes. We're just going to be enjoying some Biden clips, and that's really what we all need today. And Gans, that's what we got. Let's start off with our lead stories.
Yeah, because it's possible that these are the last days of the Biden gaffes. You know, we got to really embrace it. Yeah. So.
Poly. It's Latin for many. Tick. Now suck your blood. Now suck politics. Your blood.
All right, this is coming from NBCnews.com, and the headline. This was breaking this morning. Republican National Committee headquarters locked down after being sent 2 vials of blood.
Okay.
I mean, talk about bringing occultism, esotericism straight to the front line of, conspiracy, chaos, just all the things, political chaos,
Sounds like somebody just kind of had their like adrenochrome shipment shipped to work.
Shipped to the wrong place. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to get it on. They're supposed to mail it to the Republic or the Democrat mailboxes, not the Republican ones. Okay, so we have a clip here. It's just a minute long from this CBS report, and let's take a look at it here.
Breaking news out of Washington. The Republican National Committee headquarters put on lockdown today after vials of blood were sent to that building from an unknown source. Let's get right to NBC's Julie Sirkin on Capitol Hill. Julie, what are you learning?
Yeah, Anna, just before 8 a.m., Capitol Police blocked off the area, evacuated those that were inside the RNC. You can imagine it's a busy time in the morning. Folks there having breakfast, having their meetings. The Capitol Police evacuating the building after 2 vials of blood were sent in a package to that building. I was there around that area surveying it while the staff were waiting outside, while a lot of different police vehicles were around the premises trying to figure out what exactly happened and what was sent to the RNC. A couple of moments ago, the U.S. Capitol Police clearing that area, saying that staff were allowed to go back inside. They are still investigating the specific contents, monitoring those vials of blood as well. They released a statement saying that the package was cleared by our Hazardous Incident Response Division. It contained those 2 vials of blood. The source of the package and its contents will be further investigated. No word on whether there was a suspect, whether any arrests were made as well. But you can imagine this is obviously a scary time, especially as we've seen politics and violence just continue to play out around this Capitol complex in the last couple of months.
Shut it down. It's a scary time. Blood. Yeah. Just vials of blood showing up to the RNC.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, they are just laying, well, they're really laying on the veneer of like, this was a threat. This was some sort of threat. We don't know how it was a threat, but it was a threat. Which, I mean, that's not the craziest angle to take, I guess. But it is odd. The vials of blood. It seems like, if I could take a stab at it,
Sure.
it seems like my guess, if I was going to try to be rational or reasonable, that this was some sort of protest package.
Maybe.
You know, somebody's like, oh, you know, you don't like abortion? Well, our blood is on your hands.
Oh, okay. So it's like a symbolic.
Yeah, it's not my baby's blood. No. It's women that you hate, their blood.
Yes, we all got together and pricked our fingers and put it in these vials and
I mean,
sent it to
lots of ways.
I mean, yeah.
Lots of ways to get blood guns.
Yes. I'm saying that, you know, the intent and the rituals behind it, who knows what's going on. That's certainly a possibility. I think the overreaction, though, has to do with all the talk coming out of the ODNI, the intelligence reports and stuff, the public intelligence reports suggesting that biological war is coming. You know, anything biological is like, okay, we got to stop, shut everything down. We got to make sure this biology that was sent to us in a, you know, I don't know, envelope or something is not some kind of Nephilim. Or if it is, just, hey, why is it here?
The villainization.
Fauci sent it to the wrong address or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, the villainization or weaponization of biology, you know, that psyop, hammering that into our brains, especially as certain cases and investigations are attempting to come closer and closer to the truth behind, you know, recent health disasters. The real weaponization of any biology, just hammering that into the minds of people and sort of creating a fear response.
A fear response. Yeah. And you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone because you get the whole adrenochrome crowd just fired up on the internet. I mean, this is like low-hanging fruit for them. So
vampires.
We have vampires.
Yep. And it's undeniably, you cannot deny that it could very easily be some sort of occult practice or ritualistic event, and perhaps it's multiple things.
I mean, we don't know if it's human blood. We don't know if it's animal blood. Maybe it's alien blood. They didn't say it was red. Maybe it was like green goo, and it's like, oh, that's the alien blood. We can't let the public know about it.
Very good point. We need these answers. We need these answers now.
Why am I the one asking these questions?
When did this happen?
This is ridiculous. This morning.
This morning. Okay, breaking news. Well,
this is breaking. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll probably learn more. What blood it was.
Yeah, and you know, from biblically speaking, blood has some sort of spiritual component to it. When Cain and Abel, the whole story, the blood cried out from the ground. So there's something there. There's something there with if you want to look at it through spiritual goggles, you can draw from it what you will. So there you go.
Susie Cute over on the Rumble poses a good question. I wonder who the package was addressed to.
That's a good point. Yeah, who was it addressed to?
Attention, Marco Rubio at the RNC or something.
I want to know, that lady that was reporting. She was saying that she was there. She was like snooping around. Maybe it was her blood, And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a reporter, but technically I'm some like Antichrist daughter or something." And I forgot.
Yeah, if somebody was trying to make a threat, you'd think that there would be a name on it, not just like, "To whom it may concern," at the RNC.
All Republicans.
Here's some
All
blood.
Republicans get it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, so there's that. I mean, there's not much else to say. We don't know much about it, so clearly they need to tell us more if we're gonna, keep talking about it. But the CIA might have something to do with it. You think the CIA has something to do with this blood vial thing here, Basil?
Oh, it has to.
I mean, don't they have involvement in pretty much everything here? Okay.
Sir Darren, just real quick, I got to
Sure.
give him props for this one. Talking about the vials of blood, he was saying it was a 23andMe gone wrong. Somebody's just trying to get their genetic heritage tested.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they told them they need more samples. But, yeah, why blood?
We need more blood. Okay,
more
CIA.
blood. All right, CIA and AI.
Artificial intelligence.
All right, this is coming from Fortune.com, Fortune magazine. So this is fairly mainstream. And the headline here is ex-tech CEO who now manages AI for the CIA explains why it's like your crazy drunk friend.
Great.
Just a crazy drunk friend.
That's actually making me feel very seen and understood.
Yeah.
Oh, they're talking about all AI. They're not specifically. I thought they were specifically talking about the CIA's.
Well,
AI.
They are. I mean,
Okay,
it's
all right.
it's complicated, Basil. There's lots of different layers to this. But here we go. This says knowledge advantage can save lives, win wars, and avert disaster. At the Central Intelligence Agency, basic artificial intelligence, machine learning, and algorithms has long served that mission. Now generative AI is joining the effort. CIA Director William Burns says AI tech will augment humans, not replace them. Oh, yeah. Isn't that what we've been saying? That's not really, like, it might replace jobs, but really when it comes to the human being itself, it's augmentation, enhancement, things of that nature, not
it has
just
to
total
be.
replacement.
And it also matches up with the pro AI marketing, which is no, it's not here to take your jobs. It's here to make you better at your job.
Right.
And the implication, the sort of dark implication of that is like, we will upgrade you with AI. You will not be, a useful human until you are merged with the machine in the technocratic dystopia.
Right. The agency's first chief technology officer, Nand Mulkandani, is marshaling the tools. There's considerable urgency. Adversaries are already spreading AI-generated deepfakes aimed at undermining U.S. interests. I thought that was interesting. Because
deepfakes, that's the biggest danger we have.
Deepfakes. Adversaries already spreading AI-generated deepfakes. So yes, it's already a threat. It's already happening. You're already being deceived. The CIA is here to help you.
Yeah, which I only sort of scoff at that because that's been like that's the most elementary version of AI's threat to the U.S. I mean, this is when we were talking about AI in 2016 when like it was not a thing that anybody knew about, and we were probably annoyingly just repeating the whole time, it's going to be deep fakes, it's going to ruin the world of information, it's going to especially on an election year, truth is over, post-truth, blah blah blah. It's nice to know that CIA is just catching up. And
this article is really it's very informing. It's informing for the public. a former Silicon Valley CEO who helmed successful startups, Mulkandani, maybe it's Mulchandani, I don't know. I'm just gonna say Mulkandani. Was named. Yeah, I know. Was named to the job in 2022 after a stint at the Pentagon's Joint Artificial Intelligence Center. Among projects he oversees, a ChatGPT-like generative AI application that draws on open source data, meaning unclassified, public, or commercially available. Thousands of analysts across the 18 agency U.S. intelligence community use it. Other CIA projects that use large language models are unsurprisingly secret. So they have a public version, like a ChatGPT-like AI application that they're using, but then there's also, of course, stuff they're not telling us about. They do give us a little bit of a hint, though. And so now it goes into the Q&A. It's like an interview segment of the whole story here, which I know it's not the greatest, but we get to hear directly from the man, the ex-CEO who is now managing the AI stuff for the CIA. The question: you recently said generative AI should be treated like a crazy drunk friend. Can you elaborate? So here he is. When
pretty
these
straightforward question.
It is, yeah. When these generative AI systems hallucinate, quote unquote, they can sometimes behave like your drunk friend at a bar who can say something that pushes you outside your normal conceptual boundary and sparks out-of-the-box thinking.
Oh, so it's a positive thing. He's saying this is a positive that we have the CIA, interacting with a crazy drunk guy to give them good ideas.
Remember that these AI-based systems are probabilistic in nature, so they are not precise. They are prone to fabrication. So for creative tasks like art, poetry, and painting, these systems are excellent. But I wouldn't yet use these systems for doing precise math. I don't get that, because math is... anyway.
I thought it was pretty good at math, actually.
That's what I was saying. It's like, isn't math like the one thing it can really do?
Right.
Or designing an airplane or skyscraper. In those activities, close enough doesn't work. They can also be biased and narrowly focused, which I call the rabbit hole problem.
Oh, very interesting. Starting to sort of redefine a term. We see this all the time. Redefining terms is a great way to control information, great way to not just control information, but as you control language, you control the very worldview of the people who use it. So rabbit hole, of course, something previously referring to seeking truth in odd places, following perhaps what someone might derogatorily call conspiracy. But also, that's what reporters are supposed to do, is go down the rabbit hole to find the truth.
And it is a phrase that became became popular through the Matrix movies.
Yes.
And before then, the phrase existed, but it wasn't, it wasn't like a meme. It wasn't culturally adopted. But when this happened, it definitely became a thing.
Come, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
So there's a rabbit hole problem. Next question. The only current use of a large language model at enterprise scale I'm aware of, this is a question, sorry, at CIA is the open source AI called Osiris.
Of course.
That it created for the entire intelligence community. Is that correct?
We have all intelligence communities, all 18 of them in the U.S., we decided they needed a creative, drunk, crazy friend for all that CIA work they do.
Yeah, a crazy, drunk, ancient god.
Yeah,
that will tell us all the things and take us down the rabbit trail. Here's the answer. That's the only one we have disclosed publicly. It's been an absolute home run for us. We should broaden the discussion beyond just LLMs, though. As an example, we process huge amounts of foreign language content in multiple media types, including video and including video. I always think it's kind of weird where he's at the bleeding edge of AI and he's like, yeah, we can process different languages. We process video. And it's like, what? Yeah. Okay. But I understand what he's saying. It's a different level and AI is assessing it or whatever. But and use other algorithms and tools to process that. Okay, so back to the question. The Special Competitive Studies Project, a high-powered advisory group focused on AI and national security, is out with a report saying U.S. intelligence services must rapidly integrate generative AI given its disruptive potential. It sets a 2-year timeline for getting beyond experimentation and limited pilot projects and, quote, deploying Gen AI tools at scale. Do you agree? These questions sound
that
like
was quite the question. I don't even
these questions
understand.
sound like it is coming from like this guy's boss or something.
A high-powered advisory group focused on AI is out with a report. Okay, so the report says
They need to integrate
intelligence
generative
services
AI.
must integrate generative AI. Do you agree? Hey, AI guy who did AI for the CIA, do you think that the CIA should do AI?
Well, I like this because he says, well, let's just hear his answer. His answer: CIA is all in 100% on utilizing these technologies and scaling them.
Yeah, well, they paid for them.
Yeah,
So.
I know they made it. So we are taking this as seriously as we are taking probably any technology issue. We think we've beaten the initial timeline by a big margin as we're already using Gen AI in production. So the question is like, you have 2 years. What do you think? And he's like, no, we're all in. In fact, we're doing it already.
Okay.
The deeper
so,
answer.
Sorry. So for some specifics, they're talking about generative AI.
Generative AI as part of
AI. It can make things.
Make things. I use it
They're
for the
talking
show.
about yes,
The art in the background of each show.
Right.
Yeah.
Art, copy, music, generative AI tools. They're saying the CIA is already using generative AI tools in production.
In production.
What does production mean to you, Gons? Because production to me means they are creating media.
Creating media. Yeah.
Admitting that the CIA is using generative AI tools, perhaps even deepfakes, in production, meaning making videos, making media of some kind. He's basically saying, like, yeah, it's the CIA's propaganda tool. You know, we can make videos of anything and put it out into the public, especially because we had those ex-CIA guys come out recently on various shows like Tucker and blah, 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 blah. And they're, you know, kind of confirming what everybody already knew about the CIA and their operations.
Yeah, if you refer back to my article, if anybody read it, the ECPs, the expert civic partnerships, where you have these experts coming out of the apparatus, either in military or intelligence itself, sometimes as whistleblowers, other times as just like, hey, I'm retired. And, you know, they're able to garner an audience because of their credibility, you know. So it's a very interesting phenomenon there. But even for the CIA, the guy, the head guy to come out and just straight up say it, I also think maybe this has to do with a lot of the clone talk or clone or doppelganger talk. You know, when Biden, there's like side-by-sides.
Yeah, of course.
People are pulling up on social media where they compare Biden yesterday to Biden today. And it's like, oh, weird. Like his face is totally different or whatever.
Yeah, and people are curious about, you know, the CIA's ability in the 60s to make hyper-realistic rubber masks that pass off in person.
It's a tradition. It is their tradition.
Years ago, and people are scoffing that they might be doing that now.
Yeah, yeah. So it is a tradition for the CIA. This is their job. So of course they're using generative AI for their production.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is all confirming stuff that we suspected, and I don't know. It's almost, now that it's public, it's almost pointless to start pointing that stuff out all the time because it's like, this is what they do.
I think that's the key. I think that's the point. They're like, oh, everybody knows now that we spend a lot of time and money on propaganda.
Yeah.
And so we might as well just admit it. But, you know, that way it's not cool to talk about. That way,
they're sort of,
somebody tries talking about it. Because that's the most annoying thing. When you are telling somebody who perhaps, you know, is a bit of a normie, you're telling them something that's so, you know, obvious and corrupt and bad. And they just go, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, of course they do that. What does it matter? And it turns into like...
They've been into that. They've been in that paradigm for, you know, enough time. So where it's like these little things don't It's not groundbreaking or world shattering.
Yeah, one of the ones that kind of drove me crazy was I was talking to a very intelligent liberal friend of mine, and it was back about the Hunter Biden laptop. And I'm like, yeah, the FBI. What do you talk? Look, it's real. It's the laptop. This is happening. This is crazy. And he's just like, yeah, I mean, president's sons, they're pretty crazy, of course. Like, that's not even the point that they do that. The point, it's just like a really easy way to, what I would say, in their own words, pre-bunk people.
Yep.
Whereas not actually pre-bunking in that they get the truth first. It's that they get the propaganda first, so that it defends their mind against the truth.
Right. Yeah. It is a race war, not skin color, but like a race to be the first one to, the narrative, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to continue on with the answer here. So he's admitting we think we've beaten the initial timeline by a big margin as we're already using Gen AI tools in production. The deeper answer, there's a deeper answer, is that we're on the early side of a huge number of additional changes. And a large part of the work is to integrate the technology more widely into our applications and systems. These are early days.
Yeah, that's so vague. It's so vague,
I don't like
but
that.
Also so specific.
I don't like that the AICCIA guy is talking like a crypto bro. We're early, bro. We're in the early days, bro.
That's a good point.
Can you name your large language model partners? That's a good question. And he has a good answer. I'm not sure naming the vendors is interesting right now because we have our insiders buying all their shares. So get off our backs until we have our pie.
He literally,
before you guys.
He literally just said it's early days.
It's
the
early.
Companies who are making this stuff, you're gonna make a ton of money.
You're
bro.
gonna kill it.
So you're still in, and he's like, "Oh, so who should I invest in?" They're like, "No. You don't get to play.
It's not interesting right now." Wow. Okay.
It
There's an
very much is
explosion.
interesting.
Yeah, there is an explosion of LLMs available on the market now. As a smart customer, we are not. I think like smart technology customer, we are not tying our boat to a specific set of LLMs or a specific set of vendors. We are evaluating and using practically all the high runner LLMs out there, both commercial grade and open source. We are not viewing the LLM market as a singular one where a single lab is better than the others. As you're noting in the market, models are leapfrogging one another with each new release.
Yeah,
the people are building.
That's a bit of an
stuff
insight
for the
there.
CIA.
That's a bit of
we got duped.
Pretty big insight because the way that the CIA has previously affected the big technology is they did throw all their eggs in one basket. That's where Google came from. They pick these guys with these ideas and give them everything they could possibly need to create the technology that gives the CIA access to what they want access in. It sounds like they're trying a new thing where, if they're trying every single LLM out there, that means that they are injecting government money into the entire industry. Because these AI tools, they're not just a one-time thing. You get a subscription, and to get an enterprise government level subscription, that's a pretty significant cost. And so they're basically doing what they did for just Google in the past, but they're doing it for everybody.
Hey,
the whole market. The whole market is funded by CIA.
I am so glad that I published that article that I was able to get it out there because this is it. This is decentralizing the intelligence operation. Literally, they're like, hey, we can't do it all in house anymore. You guys are smart as a collective.
Yeah.
So help us,
as we know,
and we'll pay you. Yeah.
As we know, the users of large language models are also actively training those large language models.
I know.
When you talk to ChatGPT, you are a part of ChatGPT learning. And so if the CIA wants to have their hooks, their information, everything, not just the products at their fingertips, but they have a valve, an inlet where they can start injecting their training into every single model. So this is like a multi-pronged approach for them. Not only do they get access to everything and get the whole industry, reliant on their money, but they are actively playing a hand in programming every LLM. If you can't get away from an LLM that hasn't been trained by the CIA, basically.
Yeah, that's rough. Rough times. Okay. To that point, by the way, let me just really quickly, Revelation 13, verse 14. Because of the signs it was given to perform on behalf of the first beast, talking about the second beast here, it deceives those who dwell on the earth, telling them to make an image to the beast that had been wounded by the sword and yet lived. So, yeah, even the second beast deploys the people, and the people build the image to the first beast. So, just something to keep in mind. The operation to make or to build the image is sort of a collective project for man as they are deceived after some events take place. So, okay, back to the article here. A couple more questions. What are the most important use cases at CIA for large language models? And his answer, primary is summarization. It's impossible for an open source analyst at CIA to digest the fire hose of media and other information we collect every day. So this has been a game changer for insights into sentiment and global trends. Analysts then dig into specifics. They must be able, with full certainty, to annotate and explain data they cite and how they reached conclusions. Our tradecraft has not changed. The additional pieces give analysts much broader perspective, both the classified and open source pieces we gather.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's a
that makes sense.
danger of the hallucinations in that.
I was going to say, yeah, it's funny how we started with, he's your drunk friend, thinks outside the box.
We rely
His
on
name
him
is
for
Osiris.
everything.
Yeah, he does everything for us. He's integrating with us. We're ahead of schedule.
We're integrating our drunk friend into everything that we do at the CIA.
Yeah, this is actually quite mad. This is madness taking place here. I think the biggest challenges, I think we'll skip that one. We'll get to this one. Generative AI is currently as sophisticated as an elementary school student. Intelligence work, by contrast, is for grown-ups.
Okay.
It's all about trying to pierce an adversary's deception. How does Gen AI fit into that work?
That's not what it's all about. I'll tell you that. It's not all about trying to pierce an adversary's deception.
Very interesting language used by the questionnaire at Fortune, interviewing the AI guy at CIA. First, let's emphasize that the human analyst has primacy. We have the world's leading experts in their domains, and in many cases of incoming information, a huge amount of human judgment is involved to weigh its importance and significance, including of the individuals who may be providing it. We don't have machines replicate any of that, and we're not looking for computers to do the job of domain experts.
Sure.
Okay, so he's still sort of towing that line of like, look, humans are still... Yeah, humans are still on top. These are just tools. They're helping us.
Right.
But he's our drunk friend Osiris, the ancient god.
Well, it always has to end with that. And this is where the article ends. It always ends with cooperation.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is a pattern that we've noticed. So there you go. I think that was more insightful as to what's happening in the world today than a lot of articles.
You can see how somebody who is not already sort of educated or experienced in years of looking into these things, they could read that and be like, oh, cool, great, it's work, that's great. But when you know the details of like every little thing that he's saying, it's incredibly disturbing. I mean, it's like you said, it's way more revealing if you've been actually following AI, actually following the CIA's role, even their clandestine, in-country operations, stuff like that. Their main function of propagandists. You start adding AI into all those things, it's pretty disturbing.
It sounds a little reckless to me. That's how I got it. It was like
the CIA reckless. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, of course. But it was just, I don't know. We have to keep in mind, we got to remember that while we sort of villainize the CIA as this large opera, we villainize and point out
villainize them. I love them.
I'm saying we talk
CIA.
about
okay. I love the CIA. The CIA protects my lifestyle as an American. I enjoy the culture and the lifestyle afforded to me by the United States government, and they would not be able to make my life so good if it weren't for the CIA, and so I am very grateful. Thank you, CIA. If I'm not even saying that they're listening, why would they listen to us? They wouldn't. I don't care. But if they do, I hope that they know how appreciative I am.
I was going to say that when we talk about them in a negative light, we are often referring to the principalities and powers behind the institutions, not necessarily individual people, human beings that are part of the thing here. So it's always important to point out.
Another tough part of understanding our show is that
our show is a little
when we're talking about specific people, we're mostly
and railing about them.
Well, we're mostly talking about the principalities and powers
That's what
we
I'm saying.
believe are behind their intentions, behind their motivations.
Yeah.
So CIA, I love you. And good luck getting a handle on all this stuff. You guys don't have an easy job.
Yeah. Well, what is it today?
It's Wednesday, bro. It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Let's see. Oh, yes, it is.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. Time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
By the way, I'm barely being sarcastic when I say that. Let me get
I was
deeper.
gonna say you just triggered.
No.
Some people. I guarantee some people are triggered. We're gonna see
the
comments.
assumption is gonna be that like I am being sarcastic and I'm actually being mean to the CIA. I think there's a part of every single one of us. This is what makes our kind of thinking and our kind of podcasting difficult. Because look, hating on the CIA, it's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's fashionable right now. It is the fashionable thing.
It's fashion, right? And I'm sure they are playing a role in guiding, their own PR in the alt media.
They've realized self-own is a good tactic.
But a truly intellectually honest person who does appreciate the lifestyle in America, you have to take a second and go, dang, I don't know if I would have all this if it weren't for the CIA. I think that's how they think of themselves too, which is like,
see, this is
sometimes it's a dirty job, but like that's the reason why America is what it is. America wouldn't be as wealthy, as prosperous as everything. I mean, who knows? I can't tell the future, but I can definitely tell you the bad things that America has done over the decades and centuries are the exact things that got us to the top of the pile here. And so, yeah, it's difficult. I honestly admit that life in America would not be the same without the CIA. And, they do some distasteful things that are sort of objectively distasteful. And I think CIA guys and gals, they have to come to that conclusion on their own. I think they do come to that conclusion on their own. I don't know how anybody could do it without being like, hey, yeah, it's a dirty job, but that's how we have America.
Well, yeah, I mentioned the Bustamante guy. I've mentioned it before, the everyday spy guy, who's a young ex-CIA guy who's out there now. He's doing podcasts with all these big podcast shows. And his whole thing is, hey, learn the tactics of the CIA for, you know, success in life without all the compromises and all that. And I think that sentiment amongst the current operatives is also part of the encouragement for us to be, or our involvement in just creating media it's like a baseline now. If anybody's creating media online, you're being considered as part of the package of information that they receive, right? Because if they're scouring everything, then it's going to be included in that information data dump or whatever. So, you know, I think people have to realize if you're on the internet, you are participating in the intelligence operation, and then you can start parsing out, okay, you know, what is your purpose? What is your mission? That kind of thing, and try to, because you're going to be stuck
it makes sense.
in
you make a lot of sense.
Regardless.
There's no way out of it. That's the whole point. That's what they've created. Their involvement with the big tech. It was exactly the point. And undoubtedly, I can also admit, as an intellectually honest person, that I am certainly a victim of some long-standing psyop for the CIA to convince people that they do bad stuff, but you know, we wouldn't be what we are without them.
You
that
like the internet? Well, you better not talk too bad about those.
That is certainly not an original thought, given what we know about their operations. That has been a years in the making psyop for me to admit publicly on the show.
All right. Well, maybe you're doing it for our own. I mean, at least you anyway, are honest about that. You know, a lot of shows would probably keep the facade going of like, the evil CIA. It's like, yeah, you're right. I think they have a horrible history, and they've done some horrible things. But
another reason why we're not as popular as some other shows.
I know we are too nuanced. We're too niche. We're too nuanced.
No, I think we're just too honest. Honestly, that sounds like I'm patting ourselves on the back, but the fact of the matter is,
people want.
We're just too honest. We need to lay off the honesty. I think. We need to find what sells and lay into it.
Well, last episode I mentioned the video, the water drill. With the special ops training that got me inspired to sort of embrace the suck. And I wanted to bring that to everybody today. I have the clip here. What you're going to hear is a sergeant, or maybe he's not a sergeant. I don't know. He's the drill instructor here, and he's got a row of, are they cadets? Are they, I don't know. I think they're training. I think it's the Army. Yeah, they're humans. The Army, and they have guns across their body. They have to be in sort of a sit-up V position, and they have these diver goggles on that covers your nose and your eyes. And what you're going to hear is the instructor pouring water into the goggles, and then different things. And then you're going to hear
down some snorkel gear too.
Right? Yeah. The noses are covered, so yes, it's a difficult thing. And then you'll hear him demonstrating the exercise, and then he goes back to yelling at the people here.
Get your hand off of your mask! Why are you quitting the exercise? Here! Feet out 6 inches, hands off of the mask! Why are you quitting the exercise? Do not throw up on my pool deck! Don't lean your head back, it gets worse! No big deal! It hurts! It sucks! Embrace the suck and get comfortable being uncomfortable. Are there any questions? No, sir. I cannot see you. You guys think you can handle this drill? Yes, sir. Don't think I forgot about you. Remove the stickers from your new dive mask. Keep water in your dive mask. Stop whimpering. Keep your hands on your rifle. Why are you quitting the exercise?
I don't want to be a quitter, Basil. I'm not quitting, man.
Part. Why are you quitting the exercise? As they're like puking and gagging and
do not throw up on my pool deck. I love that.
Yeah. Well, I can relate to these guys. Certainly, that's how it feels, and that's how it feels to a lot of people. By the way, shout out to Susie Cute 14 in the chat says, "You know what sells, Basil? Coffee. Coffee. Updates on that soon. Don't
the
worry.
coffee.
We
the
haven't
coffee.
forgotten. We've got our best men on the job figuring
We're cooking.
out how to do that.
The chefs are cooking right now. Let's just say that.
So yes. So here's the thing. I continue to get feedback from our listeners, but also random people in my life. I talked to a friend yesterday who I have not talked to maybe in 6 months. And the first thing they say to me when we speak is, the 6 months have just been the worst 6 months of my life. And it's so specific and it's so horrible. I wouldn't even know how to begin to fill you in. I wouldn't even know what to ask for if somebody offered to help me. And these are words that I have literally said word for word in the past month or 2 months now. I mean, there is something going on. And this person said, I don't believe in astrology or anything like that, but what is lining up for this to just be the normal experience for human beings this year? Of course, there were theories about the election year, theories about this, theories about that. And it's like, yeah, in a way, it could be everything. And the one thing that I know for sure is that it's not happening outside the sovereignty of God. And that is the only possible thing that I could tell somebody about it. And so it's not just us, Gons. It's not just us. And it's not just our producers. It seems like every human being right now, and I can trace, look, it was a slow burn for a while. I wasn't really talking about it on the show, but it was a slow burn of like pretty bad things happening regularly starting back in December. And it's, it was tolerable and making our way through it. But then it just reached this fever pitch in April. There's just, it's got to be supernatural. It's crazy. And there's people out there who are listening to my voice. I am with you. We are there in the fire. We are in the fire together. And you know what? God is also in the fire with us. And I don't have the words. I don't have the words to make things better or to change your feelings. I am still waking up with the impending doom over my head that comes with just 6 months of horrible things happening. But the more and more I share, the more and more I talk about this with people, the more and more I'm learning that this is like everybody's experience right now, Gons.
Yeah, and my gut tells me that the rituals that have been perpetrated on the general public for years, and especially during these last 4 years or so, post COVID, it's very strong. And I believe in my heart of hearts that in the spiritual realm, it is a direct attack on believers specifically. Because it's not just like the personal stuff. I see a lot of people who are becoming very passionate about things, just in general. All believers out there have been more outspoken about a lot of different issues politically. And I feel that, when you see that, it means that, there's emotional stirring going on and they need an outlet. And that's...
You only catch flack when you're over the target.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't even know what the target is anymore, man, but
the target is Christ. The target is Jesus.
Keep playing.
And we're just sort of blindly wandering around, and the Lord just leads us with the Holy Spirit. So
yeah, and honestly, folks, with the newsletter that I send out before each episode, I got nothing else to talk about except for trying to cope with what's going on.
Cope Basil. We're in the Cope Basil era.
It used to be like those emails, I run down the show. Maybe I make a comment on some current event or something. It is just all encouragement at this point. For me, if not for everybody else. So if you just want to get like a little extra encouragement for all the horrible stuff going on, you can join the newsletter. Go to canarycry.party. You'll see a button for it there.
Sweet.
All right. Well, you know what we do still have, Guns? Some executive producers. How nice is that?
Executive producers.
That's right, folks. We're on the value for value model. You know this. You love this. It means we don't take any corporate money, cartel money, or commie money. No, we're entirely funded by producers of the show, and the producers are you. And it's not just about funding either. It's value for value. If this show or any of the community or anything we do brings value to your life in any way, you have the opportunity to put value back in. In fact, it's the only way we can keep doing it. There is no advertiser money. There's no corporate money keeping us alive for some weird corporate reason. It is, our funding is not based on how many objects you buy from our advertisers. Remember, if you're being advertised to, you're the product. You're not the customer. And bundling up your time and attention and your trust and selling it to advertisers, just it's not something that we can do with a clean conscience. So we don't. So value for value. Whatever value you get from the show, you can put value back in with your time, your talent, or your treasure. We see the world. We see the internet. We see economics moving in this direction. We believe it's a biblical direction for economics, considering how, I don't know, again, our economics in the world are on fire. The show will either survive or not survive based on the value people put in. And it's not just money. It's also your time and your talent. Whatever way you create value, you can put it back into the show. And the executive producers, they're the ones who come in financially for $100 or more per episode for any individual episode. And that's why we thank them here at the top. You ready, Guns?
Yep.
Starting out, the one, the only, executive producer, Sir LX Protocol V2, Night of the Berean Protocol.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll, I spend.
Coming in, $100, 33 cents.
33.
Illuminatus!
294 episodes in a row. Incredible. 93 episodes of executive producer streak. Ouchie wawa.
Woo. Thank you.
Thank you very
Sir
much.
Alex
Sir
Protocol.
Alex Protocol. Continuing his faithful service to the show and to the Lord. Next up, we've got an old friend coming in, and that's executive producer Sir Egorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll, I spend.
Thank you, Sir Egorius.
Yeah, he comes in with $111. 111. He comes in over at canarycry.tube, which is the place that you can support the show financially.
What happened to your camera?
What?
What is that?
Oh,
your popcorn or something
You can
is
see
in
my
front of the
snacks.
camera.
Sorry about that. Whoa, it's upside down.
You're upside down.
Whoa.
The metaverse has changed your universe. It has flipped. It has flipped your world.
Okay, hold
You
still,
good?
camera. Don't do anything
Okay.
crazy, camera. Just
All right, I think
stay
it
right
tried
there.
to. You talk CIA. You know, they were talking to your CIA buddies. They
Yeah, I wonder
tried
what
to
happened. Maybe I
cover
kicked the
your
cord or
camera.
something. Oh, jeez. Everybody sees how much my desk is a mess now. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, Sir Egorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs, which
Yeah.
has his very own Sir Dove piece of art designed after him.
He does.
And this piece of art was previously made into a sticker and sent out with the supply drop. So this is the guy, folks. Supply droppers. This is the guy who's on your sticker. Thank you, Sir Egorius. Now, he did send a email in with his producership, and it was regarding becoming a baron. He sent in his accounting to become a baron. He is certainly qualified to become a baron, and we will be making him a baron as soon as we have his baron name. And we're very proud of Sir Egorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs. And, you know, the peerage stuff has been by the wayside recently. So for those who don't know, we have the round table of knights and dames. It's the Canary Cry round table. And those who produce the show in the amount of $1,000 or more, that could be all at once or over time, they become a knight of the Canary Cry round table or a dame of the Canary Cry round table. The next level of which is baron. I'm not even sure that we
do
discussed exactly what the amount is.
Oh yeah,
But
the amount. I thought oh yeah, we haven't actually come to a hard conclusion, but we do have Guy and Debbie, barons of the apocalyptic pasture land.
Yes. Was it
so they are the
2
only
or was
barons.
it 5?
I don't remember.
I don't know. We got to go back and look. But no matter what it is, Sir Egorius is it.
He hit it.
And so I sent him a message. We'll get his name, and we will baronize him in the future. And anybody else is welcome to do that as well. Again, we have not necessarily... We need to just do it. We need to put it down on paper is what we need to do.
we need to put it on the website
so we will
and everything.
Do that. So thank you, Sir Egorius, Knight of the Squatting Slavs, soon to be Baron, for supporting us over on canarycry.tube, which goes directly to our efforts to take back our streaming sovereignty from the big platforms.
I think the Squatting Slavs outfit should just be required Canary Cry uniform.
The tracksuit, it looks comfy.
Yeah, it looks comfy and cool. You got the helmet there, and I can see that, at a rally or something.
PUBG. It's a bit of a PUBG feel for you gamers out there.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we have executive producer Felicia D.
Felicia D.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you, Felicia D.
Felicia D coming in, saving the day when the Lord works on her heart, and he does that effectively because it is the executive producers recently who often are a majority part of the existence of this show financially. It didn't used to be this way. It used to be, we'd have like 30 regular producers coming in at various amounts, and that was exquisite. And once in a while, we'd have an executive producer. But times are as such, where the executive producers have stepped up and taken over the mantle. But that doesn't mean we have no regular producers, because we do. Here's the producers who came in under the executive producer amount and came in over 777, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. And I'm going to thank them real quick. Ready?
Yeah, no, I would say to add to the executive producer ship that's happening, all the monthly producers, you are also very much part of keeping the show going. It's not just the executive producers.
That's true.
So.
We need to make sure to mention that more often. Those who are the supply droppers, the T-shirt council members, the focus group members, anybody who is supporting us on a monthly basis. Yeah, the real deal is we would absolutely
would
not
be
exist.
dead.
We'd be totally, we wouldn't even have been born if it weren't for the monthly producers.
Yeah.
So that's why we do encourage the monthly producership with things like the supply drop and the T-shirt council and stuff like that. But yes, thank you to the monthly producers, no matter what you're coming in. Again, it's one of those things. It's a classic podcast point to make. Every podcaster has ever made it. But it's if every single person who listened to the show regularly signed up for $1 a month, then, we would never need to ask for money again. But such is the case that only about 1% of listeners support the show. Pray that everyone come to a point in their life where they are ready to put value back in whatever way they can. And until then, we'll just keep praying that the Lord blesses them no matter what. So we got some producers coming in, starting with producer Blue Little Digital.
Hey, Blue Little Digital. Is that from X?
I don't...
I think I saw them on X.
But, yes, they sent in a message. It says, Blue Little Digital, my avatar is a photo of a stuffed animal owl.
Oh, it's an owl. I said it was a cat or something, right?
I don't remember what you said, but it's owl. There you are, Blue Little Digital. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you part of the
comes
Owl
in
Club?
For $9.99.
All right.
$9.99.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Blue
much.
Little Digital.
Next
up,
we
got to build that X army over there. The Canary,
we do.
Canary Cry X army.
Yeah, we need to start doing, what are they called? Spaces or something?
Yep, spaces.
Spaces.
Dominate.
Yeah, once we hand over some stuff to other people, maybe
we might have some time for that, yeah.
Next up, and last but not least on the producer list here, very short producer list, we have producer Elio.
Elio, thank you, Elio.
Elio comes in with her 1111.
1111.
And let's see here. I'm hoping I didn't mess up Elio's streak, but I have Elio on a 2-episode streak right now.
2.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
She's on a streak.
She's on a streak.
Okay, that concludes the list of regular producers of the show. Thank you very much. It means a lot to us. And of course, we've got our under $7.77 producers who are all on streaks, and we will thank them real quick. Starting with Sir Tristan, Night of the Garden, on a 37-episode streak.
Thank you, Sir Tristan.
We've got Doctor Who Dundat, 91. Wait a second. I think he's 92. Not sure if I updated these. Oh, gosh. 92, and I believe Sir Tristan is 38. There we go.
Okay.
Mrs. Tinfoil Hat Man, 52.
Thank you, Mrs. Tinfoil Hat Man.
Veronica D, 397.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 443.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight. No Sir Scott. Did you mention Sir Scott?
I did not mention Sir Scott. Interesting. We'll put his oh, yes. Okay, yes. Sir Scott is there for sure.
Okay, great.
Yes, okay. Sorry. I need to find he had a note, there's a whole thing. But
okay.
Yes, Sir Scott, Knight of Truth. Shoot, I need to find his streak, but it's 400 something, that's for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent. And then Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
I wonder
Thank you.
What happened to him on the spreadsheet. Okay,
The CIA, man, they got in there.
Yeah, that concludes our list of financial producers who've come in for this show. We thank you very much. People can produce the show with their time, their talent, or their treasure. To learn more, go to canarycry.support.
Okay.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canarycry.support.
All right, let's Flippy. Are you ready for Flippy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
All right, folks, time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We talk about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and how there's nothing we can do about it. This is coming from arstechnica.com.
Yeah.
The headline is, you can now buy a 4-foot-tall humanoid robot for $16,000.
Hey.
Yeah, it's time. It's now. It's happening. It's now. And for the observant Flippy update enjoyer, you will see that this robot looks exactly like one of the new Boston Dynamics robots that's been demoed. Sort of a new vibe for Boston Dynamics, but it's a silvery looking short robot with a glass face. It is the epitome of a Chinese knockoff of an American product. And this is the same company. They're called Unitree. This is the same company that made the knockoff Spot, the robot dog, which you can buy for $1,600. They're pretty affordable, all things considered. And in fact, the Unitree ripoff of the Spot the robot dog, because Spot the robot dog from Boston Dynamics has a very heavy-handed EULA, user license agreement, where you basically lease them and you can't touch them. But not when you buy a Chinese knockoff, because people have been buying these Chinese knockoffs and putting flamethrowers on them and putting machine guns and stuff like that. So we got another great product from Unitree. Now there's a video that you're playing right now for the viewers, which is a human man, punching this robot to show off its ability to balance. But because it's only 4 feet tall, it looks like a man punching a child. And that child really taking it like a champ. Here is a little bit from the article. Does anyone want to buy a humanoid robot for $16,000? The latest product from Unitree hopes that you will. Meet the Unitree G1, a humanoid agent AI avatar, aka a robot. If you haven't heard of Unitree, it's sort of the go-to budget Chinese option in the robot space. Then they mentioned the robot dog I mentioned. Unitree's promo video shows some impressive capabilities for such a cheap robot. It can stand up on its own from a flat on the floor position, just like the recent Boston Dynamics Atlas video. That's the one. The G1 stands up in probably the strangest way possible. While laying face up on the floor, the G1 brings its knees up, puts its feet flat on the floor, and then pushes up on the feet to blah, 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 blah. It stands up as if it is possessed by a demon. It looks like some real exorcist stuff. You know, you can imagine getting up in the middle of the night because you hear your robot hitting the floor, and then get down just in time to see it rising as if possessed by the devil. The G1 is a budget robot, so the walk cycle is kind of primitive. It walks, stands, and runs in permanent half squat with its legs forward, knees bent all the time. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the proper stance when you're playing any sports. You got to get down low.
Yeah,
you
what
know,
do they
you
call
got
it? Ready position.
the stance. Yeah, the horse stance.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that low, but yes,
So-
it's a strong position.
Is this humanoid robot useful? Is it a toy? Yes. Now you're seeing it fold up into a little box with its legs being sort of disturbingly
Twisty-turvy.
folding up in an upside down fashion, and then the man walks up and picks it up as if that's something we should be proud of. The article continues. So is this robot humanoid useful? Is it a toy? A big limitation in the real world is height. A diminutive 4 feet 2 inches tall will make many tasks difficult. If you ask the usual "can it do the dishes" question, you're going to first have to hope it can reach the bottom of the sink. It's going to struggle to reach the bottom shelf of a kitchen cabinet. Maybe you can teach it to use a stool. The small size is key to getting the price down. Unitree's other humanoid robot, the H1, is adult size, but is also $90,000. Now, they go through some of the specs, and let me just give you the TLDR. It's very weak. It's very weak.
Oh, okay.
It can carry 4 pounds. It can move at
Like a
4
Chinese
miles an
child
hour.
that
It is
Gavin Newsom
literally-
can just use his hip and knock him over.
It's like having. This is a very funny joke. I don't want to be insensitive to anybody, but it is basically having an incredibly stupid child. It's useless too. The video shows some things, but the article mentions it here. Unitree's video shows the robot crudely attempting a few tasks that don't really come across as all that successful. Even if the upbeat promo music tries to put a positive spin on everything, the robot tries nut cracking by picking a
That's the best
walnut
one.
out of a bowl, putting on the countertop, and absolutely smashing it to pieces while making a big mess. It, quote, opens a glass Coke bottle by karate chopping the bottle cap, which shatters the rim of the Coke bottle and causes the soda to overflow and spill everywhere. Next, the robot has a pan on a turned-off electric stove, and with a kind of impressive wrist flick, manages
looks
to
good.
flip a dry piece of bread over the pan, and then it dumps the raw bread into a plate as if it has accomplished something. Later, it presses a hot soldering iron onto a wire with one hand, and because it doesn't actually use a second hand to hold solder up to the iron, it's just making a wire hot for no reason. So they really do put all these things in the video to like show off how cool it is, and it's like novel enough that you're watching the robot do it and you're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But then when you actually read what it did in words on a page, you're like, why would they put any of this in the demo video? It's
Well,
like
I think that this is a superiority thing. It's a Chinese knockoff. You can't give it the kind of praise.
Oh yeah, no, this is
They could be-
entry level. Entry level.
The footage could be exactly the same, but if it was Boston Dynamics, it would be like, oh, look at it'll even solder
Maybe.
for you with precision and all this kind of stuff.
I also don't think that Boston Dynamics would leave the take where it chops the bottle in half. and
Yeah,
glass goes
the
flying
nut
everywhere.
cracking and the bottle cracking are pretty funny. It's bad.
Imagine,
It's pretty
imagine
over.
you had a caveman child, a child from the ancient days who has never even seen glass before.
Encino Man.
Yeah, you can have Encino Man as a 12-year-old in your house. Only for $16,000. What a
Hey,
deal.
way affordable. Yeah, you can have an adult for $90K or a child for $16K. I see
These
how
are
this
all
works
the
here.
beginnings of an idea of doing a useful task. is how they're the beginnings of an idea of doing a useful task. But even in this official curated promo video, it couldn't properly complete a single task. The robot seems just to be making a big mess most of the time. The video also warns, quote, some of the sample functions of this video are still being developed and tested. It's a bit confusing to see the robot do tasks in front of what your brain assumes is a kitchen countertop. But since the robot is only 4 feet tall, a normal 3-foot countertop would be about elbow height for this thing. It's doing these tasks while standing at a sit-down table. So here's the thing. We got to keep track of when exactly these humanoid robots will be making it into our lives. They've already made it into our hearts. We've been tracking the propaganda that has put the robots in our hearts. But now physically getting them in the house is the next step. And I think the sort of repeated demolition of this robot on random objects in a promo video that's supposed to imply that it's a cool robot that can do things, I think that's evidence that they really have propagandized us to the point of loving these robots. Because you watch the video, and if you're not paying attention, you're like, wow, cool, a robot doing something. And you don't even notice that it's completely destroying your house. And so I think that gives us some insight into what, you know, robots in the house might look like.
I still kind of think if we're talking industrial robots and, you know, the recent years with how China has infiltrated the US, I can see this as part propaganda where it's like, yeah, the Chinese knockoffs are just not as good. You don't want the Chinese knockoffs. You want the real thing.
Sales promo for Boston Dynamics.
Right. Yeah, like a covert sales promo.
They're not afraid.
Right. Yeah. They're not worried about these plastic Chinese robots that can't.
But the question is, should we get one? I mean, $1,600 for the Spot robot dog.
16,000. It's not 1,600.
I'm talking for the Spot robot dog.
Oh, Spot. Yeah. Okay.
$1,600. I mean, that's maybe doable. I could have it like walk around the property as a sentry or something. Just herding the emus with a robot dog. That's possible. But
well, the Unitree can probably be a sort of a guardian. You can walk around the house.
Yeah.
It'll smash you too. Don't put your nuts there. It'll smash your nuts.
Yeah, it'll certainly scare somebody. You can just have it lay on the floor at night, and if somebody breaks into your house, then you have it stand up in that Exorcist style horrifying fashion.
You just need to put him in a costume. Yeah, put a mask of the little girl. Yeah.
Somebody robbing your house will think that there's an active exorcism going on, and they will run.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
all
man,
right.
My nose has gotten really stuffy. It's hard for me to breathe. I might have to take a second and go put in my nasal spray because I cannot breathe and talk at the same time.
Yeah, it's the CIA. You talk too much about the CIA, now they're coming after you.
They got me not with the heart attack gun, but with the sniffly nose
Snot gun.
The stuffy nose gun.
Yeah.
You wanna keep moving while I go do that?
Sure.
I'll be back in just a second. I'm sorry, I hate doing this, but
it's okay.
The rest
It's okay.
of the
All right.
show's gonna be me out of breath.
Okay, there's your Flippy update. Let's move on here. We have some surveillance type of stuff.
Did you ever have the feeling that you were being watched?
You want to destroy humans?
Okay, I will destroy humans.
Okay, let's see. We have a story here from WindowsLatest.com. And the headline here, Microsoft confirms Windows 11 recall AI hardware requirements. So this is a little bit of a, I guess a main source with, you know, Windows news. So it's kind of techie. It's talking about the actual chips and stuff. But I chose this because, you know, a lot of outlets were picking up the fact, especially the alt world, that yes, this new Windows 11 thing has this ability to basically monitor every single moment, every movement, every interaction that you do while you're on a computer, which, you know, I think people listening to this show, we've all already operated with that presumed sort of knowledge of like, yeah, it's probably being recorded somewhere. But, you know, the decentralization of the intelligence operation means that we all get to have these types of tools. So, and it makes sense in some context if you're talking about corporations and closed systems. So let's see what it says here. 2024 is undoubtedly the year of AI PCs. Microsoft has already launched its Surface lineup with Intel AI processors, and its consumer edition has now launched with Snapdragon X chips with NPU. Today, Microsoft also announced Recall, a new AI-powered feature for upcoming Copilot Plus PCs with Windows 11. Windows 11 Recall is exclusive to Snapdragon X processors only because Intel and AMD chips do not meet the minimum hardware requirements for technical stuff. So, yeah, the infrastructure of the chips becoming more friendly or more compatible with the types of AI algorithms and everything. This was, we were seeing this happen. So, of course, not a real big surprise here. I'm going to scroll down to some other parts here. Microsoft's strict hardware requirements for Recall will disappoint many users, but they are necessary for a quality experience and to keep data secure. Keep that data secure. The data that we all want to share, right, Joe?
They all want to share their data.
That's right. And yeah, the data. Fauci talked about data. Data. Says here, up until now, Windows 11 users have only had access to Copilot, which is essentially just a glorified web result with summarization capabilities. Remember the most useful thing for the CIA ops? The AI? It was summarization. So there you go. Again, the decentralization of the intelligence operations. If you want to use Recall, upgrade to the upcoming line of Snapdragon X Elite PCs. But what is Recall? Okay. This is where people were freaking out on the internet. Recall is a supercharged timeline preview. Recall allows you to search through your past actions by recording your screen and using that data to help you remember things. Recall is able to see what you do on your PC, what apps you use, how you use the apps, and what you do inside the apps. So basically everything, including your conversations in apps like WhatsApp. Recall records everything and saves the snapshots in the local storage. Okay, so this is another detail they talk about here, is that all of this data has to be stored locally and not in a cloud. And they're sort of the talk about it here is a good thing here. So what are the use cases for Recall? Yeah, why do we need something that records every single moment on a computer? Microsoft describes Recall as a way to go back in time and learn more about the activity. See, it's time travel, you see. You're going back into a moment in time in the past when you interacted with some application somewhere, and you're able to pull up that information. For example, if you want to refer to a conversation with your colleague and learn more about your meeting, you can ask Recall to look into all the conversations with that specific person. The Recall will look for a particular conversation in all apps, tabs, settings, etc. With Recall, locating files in a large download pileup or revising your browser history is easy. Revisiting your browser history is easy. You can give commands to Recall in natural language, eliminating the need to type precise commands. Okay, so another little perk there. No longer do you have to be very precise with your prompts. You can sort of just be generalized and it'll figure it out for you. You can converse with it like you do with any other person in real life. Yay! You can talk to Recall like any other AI. But also, the way I understood this as well, because they started this with example with, hey, if you had a conversation with a colleague, maybe you had a Zoom call with somebody multiple times over the last couple of years, and you wanted Recall to pull up that information, and you can talk to Recall about it. The way I read this, and maybe I'm wrong here, but the way I read it was that you're able to sort of re-have those conversations because Recall will pull up those moments again and sort of display it for you, and you can interact with it as if you're talking to it in real time. Is that right, Cody? Cody agrees. I see Basil's back. That's good. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. You can converse with it like you do with another person in real life. The feature runs natively and doesn't store data in the cloud, so it's not a privacy nightmare, at least in theory. And so that I find that interesting. You know, one of the points I make in Age of Deceit 4 is that we're moving towards these fortresses where all of our the decentralization means that we all have our little fortresses that protect our data, our own data, and we are able to only share the data that we want to share publicly. And so that sort of movement is already taking place. It's part of the sovereignty. It's part of the Canary.2 thesis and everything else.
Did you listen to the most recent Tucker Carlson?
I did not.
Again, another ex-CIA guy. In fact, I think he was the guy who started Blackwater.
Oh, Eric
Told
Prince.
a crazy story about, you know, how the government went after Blackwater after, you know, everything they did for him. But he's the guy behind the unplug phone, which is, in my opinion, and I'm keeping an eye on these things, in my opinion, the unplug phone is the most capable and accessible. Maybe there's a way more, maybe there might be a superior phone, but it's like you got to be a hacker to even understand what you're doing with it. But he and his team or whatever created this unplug phone, which gives you control.
A product, right? Yeah.
Yeah, brags about how it gives you control over your data with this, and that. But, you know, at the same time, again, as always, it's like, oh, he's an ex-CIA guy making the unplug phone. That's might sound good to like somebody, I don't know, who's just getting into privacy and stuff, but it's very difficult to fully put your, you know, hope in something if anybody, you know, even remotely connected to CIA is there just for the purposes of protecting your data. I just don't know.
Yeah, Eric Prince, famously the guy who started, or infamously, the man who started Blackwater, and his name came up in the whole the wellness company drama because people tied to him apparently were tied to, or maybe are tied to Foster Colson, who started the wellness company. And so it seems to be a lot of the alt establishments are ex-CIA or ex-military people that are creating products and services for the alt crowd.
Yeah, totally.
And so that's the observation.
Totally parallels the CIA's support of the whole AI industry. Totally parallels the, you know, CIA's involvement in alt media, and totally now we're, you know, paralleling privacy, I don't know, privacy device stuff. Ex-CIA guys are everywhere. Now, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like white hat ex-CIA guys who actually are, you know, have people's liberty in mind. I'm sure they would all try to let us know that that's the case, but man, it's really hard. It's really hard to take that at face value.
Yeah. So going back to this article from Windows Latest, the bottom line here is recall. They're rolling out the AI feature that allows you to record or recall, literally, any recorded moment of interaction with any application on a computer. And again, in a corporate setting, in a business setting, this somewhat makes sense because, you know, if you have some guy that's trying to compromise your whole environment, then that could be logged on some kind of thing that you can go back and say, oh yeah, he definitely did that or whatever. So I understand it from that perspective, but also it's that double-edged sword where everything is being recorded, and it really just highlights the whole reason, and the timing couldn't be any better for Age of Deceit 4, the Eschaton Cipher and counterfeit ledger of life. I mean, they're really this idea of creating a ledger of every action, every activity, the surveillance apparatus gone mad, is really this hope for the technocrats to become as omnipotent, omniscient as God. And it's a very fascinating thing. And I don't even think they necessarily, maybe some of the spiritual technocrats are seeing it in that way, in that sort of deistic way. But I think most of them are just like, yeah, we're doing it because we can, and we're trying to help the world, and we're trying to help build better tech.
They've said outright that like AI will be God, and you
they
can't
did
have a God who is not
omniscient,
omniscient,
omnipresent in some ways.
Yeah, so it's like requires the technocracy to have, AI. Now here's the ironic thing to me is they already record every single click.
That's
on
what
your
I'm.
phone,
I wanted
on your computer, every single click, not even click. They know where
eye
your
movements.
mouse is hovering.
Your eye movements are being
your
tracked.
eye movements. Everything is already in your digital profile. And it's this interesting point in history here where they are the sentiment or the propaganda or maybe just history moving on has come to the place where they, much like the CIA guy saying we're going to use AI for production. Of course you are. Of course you have. And interesting. That's your job. Production? Okay. Well, now it's Microsoft being like, we're going to record everything you do.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Good.
This is why I wanted
you're
to.
already doing all that. Thank you very much. But it's, it's this time in history where, especially has been in the habit of repeating this the season of reveal, all are being revealed, and that is true, because it's really this opportunity where the technocracy, who have been doing everything in secret, are sort of disclosing themselves and controlling the message, because big tech controls all information on the planet. Controlling the message in such an elegant way that convincing, or at least trying to convince people that this is A, new, and B, for their benefit. See, people don't like us recording every single one of them, every one of their clicks secretly, but if we give them the power to use all their secret spy clicks, then they'll just let us keep doing it. Which I don't think they're totally wrong about that.
Yeah, and this is why I wanted to put that CIA AI article first and then get to this one, because it really puts into context what this product is and perhaps what it was inspired by. And a lot of the, ironically enough, a lot of the movements of the maybe the employees that are on this and are being recorded with recall, even their toilet times will be recorded, because if they stop moving the mouse and they stop getting the eye tracking, those Microsoft people, they're really into toilets. So.
Yeah, they'll definitely do that. Like, own your own toilet data.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, this is annoying, Guns. I'm looking at my waveform, and it is so tiny. What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Am I quiet to you?
You are to me, but I don't know that you've been actually, a little quiet to me.
One person mentioned I was a little quiet at the top of the show, but I haven't. That is so annoying because I have not touched a single thing since last show.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes.
All right. Well,
all right,
time to check in on the New World Order Fantasy League.
We need a great reset.
Yeah.
I'll let you look for that jingle in a second.
The New World Order Fantasy. Oh, I didn't know that you actually wanted me to play the jingle.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about it. I just thought about it now. It would make sense. This would be an event that would register on the New World Order Fantasy League.
That's true. Right.
So we got to keep practicing. And yet another great creative project that has been stalled by our inability to get our act together. But
yeah, I think
we're working on it.
I think the alt, or I don't know, the independent crowd or whoever have already monetized on the idea with Politify and Conspirify.
But this one's better.
It's being done. It is better. It's the OG.
That's crypto stuff. They're Gons, you and your crypto stuff. This isn't crypto.
Just saying, man.
All right.
Just saying. Okay. I can't find it. Where is it?
Okay.
Where's our jingle?
Worries. Night of the Hungry Panda does say, yes, Basil is quite. All right. So here's the thing,
I love the Great Reset.
That's not it.
That's not it. You don't just have NWOFL?
I know. That's what it was labeled.
We're not looking for it.
We're
not wasting time. Here we go.
Okay.
This is coming from Bloomberg, and you might have seen this headline pop up all over the place today, I believe. Today or yesterday.
I think it was yesterday, yeah.
And this headline here from Bloomberg says World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab is stepping down, Semaphore reports. Oh, the emperor himself, Emperor Klaus Patine, is stepping down from his throne at the World Economic Forum. As we all know, obviously, World Economic Forum has had quite a bit of attention paid to it recently. And I still often recall the very vivid memory, Gons, of, I believe it was 2016 or 17, when we played their brochure, their digital brochure for the You Will Own Nothing and You'll Be Happy, like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, it's one of those things.
It just got so popular.
You can see it coming, right? Now, this is a very, very short article. I'm going to read it to you in its entirety in probably about 45 seconds.
Okay.
Klaus Schwab, the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, is stepping down, Semaphore reported on Tuesday, citing an internal memo. Schwab, 86, announced his decision on Tuesday and is transitioning to a non-executive role by January 2025, according to Semaphore, but his decision is still waiting for approval from the Swiss government. Weird. Okay.
Weird.
The forum's governance is also set to change as consequence of the move, and Schwab hasn't yet named a successor, the website said. The WEF, which Schwab founded in 1971, organizes a yearly gathering of world leaders in finance, economy, and politics in Davos, Switzerland, as well as several smaller events throughout the world. The spokesman for the WEF didn't immediately respond to an email seeking comment. So Bloomberg, quick little thing here, just a very short article, quick announcement. Schwab is stepping down, folks. He's stepping down. Woo, the king is dead. Yay. But I went looking for another source, as you do. You got to go looking for more sources on each. You can't rely on one article.
I will say that it does say here that he's sort of it's not emphasized in this Bloomberg.
Well, hold on.
one.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
All right.
But they said he's stepping down
He's
from
stepping
an
down.
executive
Okay. All right.
role.
Okay.
He's stepping down from into a non-executive role. So, you know, maybe janitor, maybe, you know, who knows? Just a non-executive role. But you go over to Semaphore, the source for the Bloomberg article, and it tells a little bit more of a story than Bloomberg is letting on. Let's see here. I'm going to go down. No, I'll just read it. World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman Klaus Schwab will be stepping back from his role running the global gathering since he founded it in 1971. Schwab announced his intentions in an email to staff on Tuesday that was shared with Semaphore by a person connected to the organization. He will be stepping down as executive chairman and transitioning to a role as non-executive chairman, he said, adding the change in his role, his pending approval by the Swiss government. Goes on. In a statement, a spokesperson for the forum said that the organization is transforming from a convening platform to the leading global institution for public-private cooperation.
There it is.
Even in its original form, the World Economic Forum was strictly, basically, an events company. They were an event putter-on company. They didn't do any of these other things. You know, they didn't have any power, of course. If they were strictly an events organizing organization, and they made had the forum. They put together the vacation everybody got to take. But now they're transforming into, transforming from a convening platform to the leading global institution for public-private cooperation. So it sounds like actually a much more serious role they're stepping into. The forum's governance structure is set to change as a result of that evolution, the spokesperson said. And Schwab, quote, will transition from executive chairman to chairman of the board of trustees by January 2025. So, okay, he's going from CEO to chairman of the board. And again, these are all just little details, but as I saw tweets about this, saw headlines, saw other podcasters, saw, YouTube videos.
I got one for you.
What do you got? Show me.
Alex Jones was live streaming right before we went live today, and the headline for you thought our titles were long. His title here: Watch live. FBI plan to use deadly force against Trump blows up in deep state's face. Plus, more globalists resign after Klaus Schwab leaves WEF.
Okay, Alex, AJ, why would you say that?
Leave the World Economic Forum.
I mean, you could make a case for somebody who's really trying to grab, again, something we're bad at, which is being clickable. But, somebody's trying to be clickable, and so they say, ooh, Klaus Schwab stepping down as leader of the World Economic Forum. That is truthful and, a little bit more exciting than it actually is. But to say he's leaving
leaving the World Economic Forum.
That is strictly a lie. He is not leaving. And so, yes, I saw a lot of posts like this. Klaus Schwab leaving the WEF. This is just false. It is just factually incorrect. And on top of that, he's barely changing positions. And on top of that, he's not changing positions for nothing. They are restructuring the whole company. So this in no
way... It's a PR move.
Yeah, it in no way signifies Klaus Schwab is giving up any power at all. It's, if you're transitioning, you're restructuring your organization, you're going to have a different set of leadership roles. And he still maintains chairman of the board of trustees.
Here's a good, this CNBC article with the bullet points here. One of the bullet points is the forum said that the move was part of a multi-year strategy to change its management structure, shifting governance to a president and managing board. So, there's a totally... strategic move.
Says here, Schwab has not named his successor, but said that over the last year, the group's executive board, under the leadership of President Borge Brende, has taken full executive responsibility. Brende is a former Norwegian conservative leader. Okay, so some other guy has been doing some stuff recently. And in fact, I think I saw somewhere else. He was stepping into like a presidential. What?
Yeah, we've talked about this guy. We called him the Borg. I know it's not
For sure.
It's not how you pronounce it, but yeah, he's the Borg.
Yeah, he's the Borg. Yeah. Now, okay, so right there, that's the announcement that Bloomberg made. Bloomberg left out some very important details. Alex Jones is just lying about it. I don't know. Maybe he said it straight, like in his show or something, but like the headline was just a lie. And the big thing here is that they are changing not just the leadership structure, but they're changing the entire business. Yeah. It's no longer just an events company. This is like, who knows exactly what this is going to look like. What the heck's going on here? Sorry, my screen kept going into screen capture mode. Now, here's
Recall is trying to record every movement of your computer.
Probably. So they go into some of the details. Schwab 86 is synonymous with the organization that he has managed for more than 50 years. Initially known as the European Management Forum's early iterations of the event drew far fewer attendees to Davos than the thousands that ascend to the Swiss mountain town. Again, event, that was their business. Now, the annual WF meeting in Davos attracts blah, blah, blah. We know that. The forum operates much like a family business. With Schwab's,
it's just a family business, everybody.
Schwab's children appointed to high-ranking positions. And his wife, Hilda, heading the organization's foundation and awards ceremonies in Davos.
Yeah.
And here's a great part. In recent years, the forum has shifted its focus towards the center and away from liberal politics, Semaphore previously reported. And I think that's the key to this whole thing. Not that it answers all the questions, but that it gives a framework for why any of this at all. I mean, talk about the CIA, checking sentiment through AI to, see what the population is feeling. It is pretty much universally accepted that Klaus Schwab is some sort of Bond villain and that the WEF is some sort of elite global governance organization that wants
they
to take...
lost. Yeah, they definitely lost the favor of the. Not that there was total favor in the public before; they just weren't talked about.
Well,
it was sort of the. Huh?
Schwab said before that Schwab has said this, that the power of the World Economic Forum for so many years was that they were entirely unknown.
Unknown, yeah,
entirely unknown. And what happens in 2020-ish, 2021, suddenly they become very known.
Yeah.
And their event is all over the place. They're the number one thing being talked about on Twitter. They're got way too big, way too popular, way too big. And we all know that they had serious focus on liberal politics. I mean, that was their thing for 40 years. It was all liberal politics up until now, basically, where they're like, oh, no, nobody likes us. Everybody thinks we're ending the world. Everybody thinks we're villains. This is bad. This isn't working. They're talking about at the World Economic Forum, there are presentations about
their whole
nobody
theme,
likes us.
Their theme for the last couple of years, but this year it was literally how to gain trust, right?
Yeah.
How to get trust back. We lost the trust of the public. How do we bring it back? That was the conversation this year.
Exactly.
So,
and that, these presenters, giving speeches literally titled like how to gain the trust back from the servants or whatever, like the way they thought about themselves, calling themselves elite and all that. It's just crazy. And so this is bad. It's been bad. It continues to be bad. And so they need to restructure everything. And I think all of this is a reason to just get out to the public. It's a PR marketing campaign. The restructure, the step down, everything, I believe, is a psyop to inject this idea that, oh no, WEF, they're not liberal anymore. They don't push the liberal politics. They're moving towards the center. So why don't you give them another look? Says here, notable at the end, succession at the WEF has been the subject of fevered speculation, and a Politico article floating possible names roiled the gathering in 2023. The forum has also been navigating a difficult political landscape and has steered back towards the center in recent years after embracing progressive directions in culture and finance.
Aha!
See,
it is the economic forum after all.
It's all coming together.
They're going crypto. They're going crypto.
The WEF.
They are actually. They've been working with certain groups that
the
people
WEF,
are not happy about.
Though a nonprofit, is a remarkable business.
Of course they are.
The organization brought in nearly $500 million in revenue in the year ending March 2023 and had a neat $2 million Swiss francs.
200
million Swiss francs sitting in cash, Semaphore reported last year.
Would you take $500 million a year for the kind of hate that, I mean, they're getting paid well to be like the villain of the world.
And that's just the nonprofit. That's
the
not
nonprofit.
Even the people. The people are making their own money. I mean, it's incredible, and it looks like Semaphore, has been involved in sort of telling the truth. Maybe not the wildest facts, but like the businessy facts about World Economic Forum, and tracking what they actually got going on. And so you're seeing all these headlines. Klaus Schwab leaving the WEF. It gets that catches every single eyeball that it passes by. Everybody wants to look into that. And when you do, the real message is, no, Klaus Schwab's still in charge, but don't worry, they're leaning towards the center. A very elegantly planned PR campaign to try to give people a second thought about them.
I wonder if this opens up the avenue for guys like Alex Jones, the Tucker Carlsons, to start going to Davos and becoming the next generation of voices
for sure.
the World Economic Forum.
100%. We know that this is the plan. We know this is how they do it. The alternative media is starting to be given access and sources through corporate involvement. This is alternative corporate media. You know, even the access Tucker's been given since leaving Fox is way beyond
He got
anybody.
to talk to Putin.
Exactly.
He talked to Putin when nobody could talk to Putin. He got the interview.
And so the
How does that happen?
CIA and all their AI knowledge knows exactly how to wield the alternative media. I strongly believe, I would almost put this into the red book if Clank is listening.
Let's
if
do
anybody
it.
wants to write this down, Tucker Carlson will be invited to the World Economic Forum.
Yeah. That's
I'm
like
putting it
fish
on
in
the
a
books
barrel
right
around
now.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm taking it the step further. I guarantee he will go to the World Economic Forum.
He might present.
But I think he will be invited to the World Economic Forum because, you know, last year they had, you know, a couple people
the trickle
lined
has
up
started.
to kind of like talk about how nobody trusts them and talk about how their ideas are bad. You know, they kind of tried to build in this the other side or whatever. you
Right.
know,
A more
whatever.
balanced approach to the whole topic. Yeah.
Trying to take a more balanced approach. I'm just going to say it, calling it now. Tucker Carlson is invited to the next, maybe not the next, but one of
Next 4 years, let's say.
the next 4 years for sure. I think, is it over this year already?
Yeah, it happens in January every year. Remember? It's the snowy January.
Yeah.
It's a big
I
thing.
think he'll be on the next one. He'll be invited to the next Davos.
You think he'll be invited right away? Next one, Tucker Carlson. Maybe we can come up with a red book list of the next wave of World Economic Forum invitees.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I'm sure they're going to probably pick some notable young, influencers and stuff.
It's an expansion pack for the New World Order Fantasy
An
League.
expansion pack.
You have the New World Order Fantasy League base game, and then you have the World Economic Forum expansion pack.
Perfect.
Davos attendee expansion pack.
Man, I was looking for the jingle. I still can't find it, which is hard for me to believe because that was on hand. It was pretty accessible. Yeah, it was a pretty accessible jingle. So I must be not reading it right or something because it's something that has always been right at my fingertips, and for some reason I cannot find it.
Here's
it's really
the thing,
kind of
Gons.
bizarre.
Both of us have made absolutely perfect called shots before. It's been probably about a year since we've done that, but people know. The real OG Canarians, they know the absolute perfect called shots that we've had in the past. And here's the thing, we cannot rest on our laurels. You know, just because we called a shot in 2023 doesn't mean that we still got it in 2024.
True.
Tucker Carlson will be at the next Davos. I believe he will be invited. Remember it, folks. Write it down. Maybe I should tweet it. I'm going to tweet it.
You should tweet it because that's public cred right there. That is if you want to, that's the tweet that they'll pull up a year from now. And look at this guy. Actually, no, it'll be someone else that posted later than you.
I was going to say
all the cred.
Else.
And then you'll post yours and be like, no, I had it first. And then everyone will be like, look at that crazy guy.
Nobody listening right now. Don't post it until I post it.
All right. Don't snipe. Don't snipe the red book.
I'm going to do this. So the show's yours.
Okay. All right. Well, there's not much else to say about it. There was, I was going to make a point a few minutes ago, but I forget now what it was. Let's see. Yeah. Part of the, I would imagine after Davos this year, they took all that data, they threw it into Osiris. Klaus is like, tell me, Osiris, what should I do? And Osiris told them they need a great reset.
We need a great reset.
I love the great reset.
And so they got going, and I think this is the strategy to put Klaus. Klaus got way too much negative press. Let him settle down behind the scenes. Let other people, let the conservative movement take place, give the appearance that, and truly, there is an element of we give the World Economic Forum too much credit when it comes to how powerful they are. They proclaim a lot of things, and they have over the years, and maybe their impact has been more great when they were covert, behind the scenes. But now that they're out in the open, it's very interesting how it plays into the very idea of decentralizing intelligence. If you are going with the crowd, if the pendulum is swinging right, and the World Economic Forum is just following suit to make sure that they have the attention of the mainstream public sentiment, then yeah, do it now. Do it now before, get ahead of it, because especially if Trump wins office and he's back in office, next 4 years is going to be another swing deeper into the right side of the right-left paradigm. So
yeah, and
makes sense for the World WEF to set themselves up for that.
The question, as always, is who's leading? What's the chicken or the egg? Are they wanting to swing right, or are they swinging right to follow the psyche of the population, or does it matter?
Sure.
It might not even matter.
It might not matter. Yeah, I see what you're saying, because it's the whole thing we've talked about with the rise of populism coming from a very obvious operation to create a certain sentiment that angers the population. They create more content, and eventually it steamrolls into a movement, and that's what we've had. And people like Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, they have been the poster villains for that uprising, that populist movement. Right. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting that it's happening now. To the World Economic Forum's credit, they are actually moving. They're like moving chess pieces, and we get to watch them do it. Usually this stuff is probably not public, but because of the fact that Klaus gets such bad PR, this is a great opportunity for people to, or the people behind the World Economic Forum to keep themselves positive. Yeah, keep themselves in the spotlight.
Crafty. They're very smart. All right, Guns, you want to show us some art?
If I had art to show you, I would definitely do it. Unfortunately, I don't think we have visual art, but that benefits the listener, going back to grassroots here. We did start as an audio podcast, believe it or not, and we still hope that we provide enough value in that context. But we have a couple pieces of music to play, so we got that going.
One art, please.
Audio production.
If you have a God-given talent and you get value out of this show, you can provide value back by helping us build the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. You can do so in all kinds of ways, just art, whether it's drawings or music, whatever it might be. Today, we have Jonathan F. bringing something in.
Jonathan F.
And I did not see a note with this. So here it is. The More You Know, Brando.
Come on, man. All men and women created by you know the thing. Come on, man. We have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what. Come on, man. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. Come on, man. I got hairy legs. Come on, man. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Come on, man. I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
Oh, jeez. Only it's possible that we're at the end of the road with all this, So enjoy it, folks. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Thank you, Jonathan F. Appreciate that.
Thank you very
Jonathan
much.
F. has kept us in the loop with a lot of the Joe flubs. It got hard to keep track of. It's almost a full-time job to keep up with the Joe flubs. And I have a theory behind that.
He's an archivist. He's archiving for the sake of history.
Yes,
these things.
Yes. I do have a theory about Joe's whole campaign here, but we'll get to that after the break here. So thank you very much, Jonathan F. We also had something from Sir Marty K. Sir Marty K came in, and he has a note here. I love our AOC because she is a Mexi can, and like, you can do it.
Not a Mexican.
And not a Mexicant.
Yes.
What's your poison, Basil? I think he maybe meant position. I don't know. I'm confused about that word.
This? What are you reading?
The notes right here, the audio production.
Oh, this was in his upload over at canarycry.art.
Yeah,
you can upload your art to the show. It gets put on a spreadsheet, and we can see
so
it, read it, and not lose it. I'm scrolling to get down to the note.
Okay, well, I believe it is part of the presentation of his stuff here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so let's see. Simp track 1, AOC versus Princess Leia. I wonder if
probably Princess Leia.
Yeah, okay. AOC versus Princess Leia here.
Too little short for a stormtrooper.
Huh? That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
That's pretty funny.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Marty K. Okay, Simp track 2, AOC versus You Can't Handle the Truth. Do I see that one? Where's that one? No, hold on. Did I not grab that one? When they come in a giant block, sometimes it
comes in a list of links.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's lists of links everywhere.
I know, list of links.
I'm looking
I
at
wonder if this is the one here. Let's check. Here we go.
So prepared for this sort of thing.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, girl, baby girl, don't even play.
That one's good. That one's real good. I like that one.
Worth the wait. Yeah,
that is definitely worth the wait. Simp track number 3, Palpatine versus a what now? Here we go.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
A what now?
pretty good.
Oh, the what now guy.
Yeah, this is great. Sir Marty K, this is spot on. Great. I love it.
Thank you very much.
And after this, I'll take AOC out to the dessert. I think he meant desert.
We know what he means.
And put her to sleep for now. I promise. Heart. I don't know what that means, Sir Marty K.
He's saying he's not going to do any more AOC stuff for a little bit.
These
are great though, because they're jingle length.
They're all. This is AOC,
so we can slip that into any AOC, story or something as a jingle. Make sure those are labeled right for you.
Yeah, I am. I'm putting them in now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Marty K.
Thank you very much, Marty K. I appreciate that, and that does it for music, audio. We do have microfictions.
Okay.
Microfiction.
Microfiction.
Oh gosh, this one says British accents.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Stefan S.
I don't know if I can do a British accent. We'll find out.
Just just go into your king mode.
It's all Russian. Everything is Russian.
Everything's right. It'll be funny if you slowly transitioned into a Russian by the end of it.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Okay, here we go.
Agent 22 chats with Q on the OC field study. Oi! What technology did we use to collapse the green screen in the middle of the live stream? Q replies, Oh, that marvelous piece of work wasn't completely us. We collaborated with the paranormal lab.
That's not too bad.
Those are the two British accents I have.
What is it called?
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cockney.
Cockney. There it is. Yeah,
I
Cockney.
have, Oliver Twist, Cockney street thug, and, I think they might call him Poofy, a fancy lad.
A fancy lad, yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Appreciate that, Stefan S. The accent prompts are really kind of fun. I like that.
Fun. We're having fun.
Okay, we got another one here from Jolmes in the series.
The onboard flight deck listed off its first concern. It displayed a globe icon on an N icon, one could read as intersect, and an O3 icon, and then it paired with the 3 icons with a caret sideways and an O2 icon. The icons are great. The proposal, the O3 symbol alongside with the division icon. Tiny pad chirps affirmatively, bobbing up and down. The flight deck interprets this positive. I can tell you what, speaking in icons is a very cool way to write robots in a book.
Well, yeah, I think emojis.
Maybe a little difficult to follow in an audio format, but I would love this if I was reading. Well, I am reading it. So let me just tell you, folks, from my position, it's very cool.
Yeah, I think that's what emojis, it's almost like a new language that summarizes emotions and different things, and you can tell a whole story with a couple emojis, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're, I agree with your comments about emojis, but this is more symbols, like when you like read about the Elvish language or something in Tolkien. This is like, you know, robot Elvish.
Okay. Got it. Thank you very much to all the producers coming in. Appreciate you all. You can go to canarycry.art and submit your artwork or audio file or whatever it might be. And you can read up on some of that there. Or if you have an article you'd like to share with us or have us potentially bring to the show, you can go to canarycry.report and you can send us a link and give us a little write-up about the article, and we'll consider it for the show.
Yeah. And by the way, don't be intimidated. We don't need a book report. It's just a couple questions to help us understand the context of your suggestion. Yeah. And of course, canarycry.art you already mentioned. And we are here. We are patiently waiting upon the Lord to inspire and move in his people to bring in a new generation of visual artists for the show. But these things all happen in waves and seasons, just like how the makeup of financial producers, executive producers, everything. You know, it's very interesting to see how producership shifts with the state of the world, you know?
Yeah, it's almost its own indicator for us. It's our own economic indicator for
it's like
how we're doing.
The CIA has their AI to tell them how everybody's doing to try to see the nuances, you know, in the world. But we have the various ways that one could produce the show. It's if only we could decode the signals as if we needed to. But there you go, folks. Lots of ways to produce the show. Remember, it's all value for value. If you get something for the show, if you listen and enjoy and appreciate and learn or whatever, or even just find encouragement in what we do here, hey, if you're an artist, make something up for the show, send it in. That's your value. All sorts of ways to do it.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary cry that support.
Just a few comments here. Psalm 40 says, what did he say? We are the market. Yeah, this is producers, man. They're the market. You got to read the market, baby. Rami says, thanks, guys, for the content. And Uncle John says, amen.
All right. Uncle John 14:6 to be precise there. Gotta get the full name in there.
Well, I didn't want to dox him, you know.
Yeah.
Uncle John 14:6 is on his birth certificate. I didn't want to get him in trouble at work.
You know what? I bet you if somebody punched up Canary Cry anything on Osiris, it would come up as a hate speech. Like we're just a bunch of hate speeching people that are not popular on the internet that can't help them.
Yeah.
Toilets!
All right, let's move on here. Last
I'm going to post the link to my time-traveling Tucker Davos tweet. And everybody feel free to go ahead and
thumbs up, like it.
Repost it, like it.
Bookmark
or save it. Bookmark it. That's what I mean. Yeah. Bookmark it at least so you can come back to it and, you know, I can continue to be ignored online.
Armageddon's on the way.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs. Harry. Got hairy legs. Harry COVID.
Get vaccinated.
The days are numbered, Basil. I don't know how many more Biden gaffes we can handle as a country, as a world. But here's 9 gaffes, according to dailymail.co.uk, Biden made in a single speech that the White House had to correct, including calling Capitol rioters erectionists.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
They're not even hiding the fact anymore. So we have the montage here. Thank you, Daily Mail, for putting together the 9 gaffes all in a row.
Establishment media. I mean, this is a big deal. Establishment media meme mockery of the president. Creating a montage of the gaffes of the president as mainstream media really signals. I mean, I think this, more than anything, signals the fact that Joe Biden, they are not planning on him to win the election.
When I was vice president, things were kind of bad during the pandemic. Folks, I'm humbled to receive this organization which defines the character and consequence of what we do. I delivered a commencement at Morehouse College. It truly inspires me. I protected and expanded the Affordable Care Act, saving millions of families $800,000 in premium, $8,000 in premium, loans to buy homes. We're cracking down on corporate landlords who keep rents down. Black moms who have nearly 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy complications than a white woman. He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots. Donald Trump has said if he loses again in November, there will be, quote, bloodshed. His spirit endures. The NAACP spirit endures.
NAA spirit.
That's interesting. That really is like a corporate media version of a Biden gaffe montage.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in there that I'm like, okay, he said a wrong word maybe, but it wasn't like necessarily funny.
Right. For those of you who just listening, there is a caption to this that shows the red, which is what he said, and the green, which is what he meant to say.
Yeah,
so it's a nice little thing. So he said pandemic, he meant recession. Because remember, this is the White House fixing all this. Talks about an organization, he meant award. What is this? He was inspiring. He was trying to say inspiring.
Okay, so that you bring up a good point here, or at least you inspire a thought. If the White House, if the Biden administration and the White House or whatever, again, wanted to infiltrate the culture of mocking Biden, to find a way to divert attention from, real bad gaffes. Like Jonathan F. is doing this job, sending us like the really funny, like really serious, really obvious things that make him, look incompetent. But again, like everything else, the establishment worming its way into the meme culture, into the anti-establishment culture.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these gaffes are really not that, like, nothing. Like,
it's not that bad.
It's not that bad at all. It's certainly not the,
I mean, it's
on the
baseline
list of funniest gaffes.
It's baseline Biden. I mean, this is like every speech for him. You can pick out a ton of little mistakes here and there, words here and there that, don't come out right, or he says the wrong word.
That we let slide because there's so much.
There's just so many. It's just
I think this is an infiltration to try to divert, somebody who is just thinking, man, Biden's really bad. And then, what is this? The Daily Mail, Daily Beast?
Daily Mail.
Daily Mail. Daily Mail. They even had a Biden gaffe thing. And then you watch it, you're like, I guess it wasn't that bad. Those are easy mistakes to make. I don't know. Maybe it's all hype, the Biden, is bad thing.
I tend to think perhaps another thing, but
tell me.
It's something that I feel like we've known, but I don't know. It just kind of came to my mind last night and putting the the show together here, but really, it's this idea that the entire Joe Biden campaign was nothing more than propaganda. Joe was put in front of us as a president of the former most powerful country in the world because it puts on full display age, like the problem with aging, health type of stuff. It's an advertisement for enhancements, for life extension technologies, all these things that are right around the corner. You got to present the problem to the public that everyone can relate to. And it's that kind of stuff, especially when it comes to our leaders. We need our leaders to be sharp. We need them to be on top of things. We need them to understand culture, everything else. So I see this as it could be a big psyop to say, look at this old man. Look at how he can't even say the words right. It's all falling apart. Everyone can see that it's not working. It's not going well. And of course, the sort of short-term price to pay, so to speak, is a Trump coming back into office, or, a conservative regime or whatever. But longer term, it can definitely act as like, oh, you don't want that anymore. Let's make sure our presidents are plugged in. They're up to speed. They got
the solution being technocratic AI president.
AI or biological assistance of some kind or whatever it is. CRISPR stuff. Every president's going to get a CRISPR update so they don't get cancer while they're in office or whatever it is. So that's the kind of move I feel like, the problem reaction solution. Got to be presented the problem. The public has to understand the problem at a very basic level before they can start pumping out the solutions. So
yeah, you can see it kind of works both ways, because on one hand you're like, if only something could help Biden, should we give AI access or whatever, have him have an AI assistant, or maybe a robot would do better, or Neuralink or whatever. Man, it would make, if it just was for that, if we just had that, Biden would be better. On the other hand, if you have Trump get elected, then it's the same message, just in a vaguely different way, which is, man, if we don't have AI president or Neuralink president, then we get Trump.
Right? You get to play both sides of the
the technology can make Biden better, and technology make Trump go away.
Right. Yeah. So there you go.
Great.
Oh, there's your
No,
popcorn.
not again. Why does
Is that
it
your
keep
shrimp?
doing
Is that pretzel? What is that? Pretzels. Interesting. Pretzels.
Yeah. Dot's pretzels are the best. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I like that we are presenting. Do you want me to remove you off the stage for a moment?
There we go. I'm back. Why does it keep doing that?
Because you said you love the CIA, so they're hitting you back.
Yeah, they really are.
They're telling you we hear you, and here we are knocking over your camera. You're like
Dot's
sideways
pretzels
now.
Are good though, by the way. Everybody knows that. That's not a surprise.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Dot's pretzels did not pay for an appearance on this podcast. Yet. All right. Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. We hope you enjoyed.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need to do one thing very quickly, and that is a speak pipe.
Yes. Oh, we missed it.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message.
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com. On the right side, you'll see a green button. You click on it, it'll open a little box on your screen that allows you to record an audio message of up to 90 seconds. It can address us privately. Let us know if it's a private message if you are. Or you can address the Canarium publicly. And we have a message here from... We have two, actually. We have one from Rochelle. She's back.
Rochelle.
Here she is.
Happy Wednesday, y'all. So, like most of us, I'm trying to be a farmer. And I was just thinking I should start another row of carrots. And lo and behold, a supply drop from heaven with Breakaway Bunny Farms Samurai Red Carrots. It made me want to sing Hallelujah. I sing daily. At night Yahweh wakes me. I sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. We're not crazy. The canary cry saves me. We sing hallelujah. Not by sight, not by might. We believe at his delight. Peculiar people sing at his glorious sight. Hallelujah. We sing bravely. God is our safety. We sing hallelujah. Clothes of white light up the night. The dragon slayer comes to fight. The giants fall at his delight, and the angels shout through their heavenly flight. Hallelujah, they sing bravely. God is our safety, they sing hallelujah. Stay strong for Jesus, y'all. Excellent supply drop.
Thank you, Rochelle. Appreciate that. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, we're hearing that people are getting their supply drops, so that's wonderful. And we got one more message here from Joe.
Hey, Canary, producer Joe here. Basil has inspired me to throw my prayer request into the ring. And I would say also there's been many other Canarians that have expressed some vulnerability and requests for prayer. I mean, some come to mind, Brandon, Tristan, JC. It's just some hard stuff. So I just wanted to reach out and ask if any or all of you would be willing to pray for my future wife. Basil made a comment about it being a battle, and that's something that I pray often for a biblically beautiful battle buddy, and just, being patient in God's timing and preparing us both, and, just encouraging her in the meantime, and that she would be, protected and not comparing herself or not questioning things or worrying, just that God would give her peace and to know that she'll be appreciated and loved for who she is, and hopefully is now as well, right? But yeah, just being firm in her identity in Christ and seeking God first in all things, and then he'll do the rest, right? So I just appreciate the prayers there. It's a little bit vulnerable for me to throw that out there, but hey, let's do it. Power in prayer. So appreciate y'all. God bless you guys as well. Thanks.
Yeah, that was great. Amen. Producers. We're putting that on the list. What was this fella's name?
Joe. It's Joe.
Joe. Oh, it's Joe.
Yeah, it's Joe.
That's been a thing forever. Growing up in my life, I spent many youth group praying for my future wife. So I think that's what everybody should do. I very much believe in that, and I believe that even better, getting your podcast prayer family on it. What a great way for the Canarium to come around and pray for the future partnership with Joe's battle buddy.
Yeah, we'll call upon the producers here. And, it did not work. That's not good. It's not good when the producers don't show up. What is going on? Here we go. Producers.
Producers, assemble!
Love it. Yes, I will be praying for you, Joe, and everybody else should do the same. That's what we're doing here, folks. It's a hard time. It's the worst 6 months that have ever happened. And we all
still here.
We got to come together as a family. Every single member of the family should feel welcome and encouraged to make their prayer requests and their struggles, known as they feel comfortable. And together as a family, we'll come together around everybody's prayers and needs. And thank you. Sorry, I had to run off for a second. Thank you to Rochelle for talking about the
supply drop.
Supply drop is landing. Drop is landing all over the world, and very cool. Sorry it was a little bit late. It's totally my fault because of April, but we are getting back on track, and we've got some very cool stuff planned for the next supply drop. So if you're sitting there and you're wondering, maybe it's time to participate in the value for value model, but I don't really want to have to come in for individual episodes, I don't know, go to canarycrysupply.com and sign up to support the show for $33.33 a month. Yes, we are mocking the number, and it's easy peasy. And as a gift, as a free gift in return, every 3 months, once a quarter, we'll be sending out a big old package filled with fun, cool stuff, designed by the artist, produced by producers. Sir Ike does a great job of sourcing everything from the most, desirable sort of situation as possible, American made, small batch kind of stuff. He does a great job. So canarycrysupply.com, I highly recommend it for so many reasons. And of course, thank you to all of our current supply droppers. We hope that you are enjoying the supply drop. In this supply drop, because Age of Deceit 4 was not ready to go out, Gons, we did this a long time ago, but we just did it again. A USB drive, an Apocalypse USB drive filled with all of the Canary Cry News Talk episodes. I got to remember if this got split in two or not. Is this one split in two? Kind of.
Yeah, it says here the early years, folder 1.
Are there 2 in there?
Folder 2, 2020 to January 6.
Yes. Oh, yes. So we've got all the episodes there, and I think in future ones, if this one doesn't have it, all the future ones will also have all of TJT, we'll have all of Ravel, we'll have all sorts of stuff. So it's a great way to just get the hardware out there, to take it offline. And, there's always the possibility that after the dust settles and the bombs have dropped, that some scavenger in the future will be digging through the rubble and find an ancient USB drive and find a historical account of what believers were going through during this period of history.
Supply droppers, the timing couldn't be any better because they all got the Klaus custom cabinets. They're impenetrable. Remember his comment about penetrating cabinets?
All the cabinets. Oh, that's great timing.
Perfect timing. And I don't think just because he's stepped out from the front of the stage here doesn't mean he's going to stop penetrating cabinets.
Yeah. By the way, I don't think he will
cabinets.
Step away from the stage. I think he's going to be...
He's still going to present.
He's chairman of the board. I don't know why he wouldn't. It's a family business. You got to keep
That's
Dad
true.
up on the stage.
That's true.
Okie dokie.
I will say, just before we end, we have this Canary Cry News Talk, Back to the Future mock-up type of card. And my wife and mother-in-law were looking at it, and they're going, why did they put Basil's face on Gonz's face?
What?
I didn't know either. I was like, I think that's supposed to be me and Baz with the goggles. And she's like, well, they got Basil's face right. So if anyone wants to know... Yeah, I wasn't sure what she was saying.
I don't
but
understand. It looks
apparently,
right to me.
That's what I thought too, but
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Take a look.
Critics. Everyone's a critic.
Critics.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Here's the thing. Thank you to the timestampers.
Oh yes, of course, the timestampers.
Timestamp. It's hard work. Timestamps.
Right. You can also put value into the show by donating of your time, getting involved with some of our back-end processes, some projects we're working on, whatever that is. Remember, you can go to canarycry.support. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see a form. You can fill out that form if you want to help out with your time, get involved. The timestampers, they are so faithful. They've been doing it for so long where they timestamp the episodes. It goes into a bunch of our back-end processes. It's critical, and they are so faithful. Who did the timestamps for last episode?
Morgan E. did last episode, and Jade Bouncerson's like halfway done with today's already.
She's doing
so
them
she's
live.
all over it.
Jade does them live, man. It's great. And yeah, thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to Joe for your feedback. Thank you to Clank for clanking. Hopefully we can get that red book entry entered. And other than that, share the show, folks. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends' family. Share it with the world. Share it with your future spouse. Maybe that's something. Share it. That's one great way to invite your future spouse to enter into God's will and align with their future spouse. It wouldn't be the first time. We have had Canarian weddings. People have found their future spouses and then now spouses through the blessing that is God's romantic orchestration of love and partnership of his children through the show. That might be our biggest accomplishment, which we're very proud of. So there you go. Just go ahead, share the show with every good-looking person you know. One of them's bound to be your future spouse. Other than that, just, put out on your social media or whatever. We call it rattling cages, and all you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right, folks. And before you go, remember, 1 like equals 1 praise Jesus. Come on now, let's go. Don't leave the show without giving it your thumbs up. And Gons, you got any last words?
First of all, you're getting quieter and quieter, but also, hey, shout out to all the people with gout today. That's Gout Awareness Day.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And also, today is the 2010 Bitcoin Pizza Day. It's the day when the first pizza was bought for 10,000 Bitcoin. Do you know how much that is worth today, Basil?
Maybe $1 billion or something?
$700 billion.
Billion?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. $700 billion for that pizza.
Yes.
Wow, that just gets more shocking every year, doesn't it?
It does. Let me just double check my math. And is it 70 billion? Let me double check. Let me count the zeros. Nope, 700 billion.
Insane.
The most expensive 2 pizzas to ever have been bought.
It won't be long until that was $1 trillion pizza.
It is. Yep, we're going. It's close. We're already there almost. If it hits 100K, there it is. Okay, that's all.
All right. Well, folks, just another reason to be thankful for every pizza that you eat. All right. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
We're out.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
That's the official position of this city. But we have made it clear there should be a decompression strategy that we can properly deal with the volume that's coming into our city. And no cities should have to carry the burden of the national government. We individuals should be
Don't move the ancient boundary stone which your fathers have set up.
Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it.
Cosmos children.
Space lane.
I'm an adult in a spaceship.
The supersonic space lane screamed to life and the vehicle swooped upward. On board, the passengers experienced 3 G's of force from the burst of extreme acceleration and watched the blue sky fade into space.
In the back have been cleared to unstrap.
Oh, yeah.
In the back have been cleared to unstrap.
Yes. Do it, Richard. Do it, Jeff. Do it for humanity.
To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream.
I'm an adult in a spaceship.
He can accomplish it. You can too. Big windows, cool. Rocket ship, cool. Space plane, cool.
Nukes,
cool.
Blowing stuff up,
cool. Space plane, astronaut, rocket ship.
Avius anchor.
We have Bezos. He's a human. Just look at him. Go to the bathroom in bags. He can go to the bathroom in the cosmos. It changed everything. Wives in space. Children in the cosmos. With your best friend brother. Wives in the cosmos. Children in the space lane.
We are headed to space.
Son of a beastie.
Let's invite some dudes over to fellowship tonight.
No big deal. It hurts.
Lines are falling into me in pleasant places. Yeah, I have a goodly heritage. I will bless the Lord who hath given me counsel in my reins. Also instruct me in the night seasons. I have said the Lord always before me, because He is in my right hand. I shall not be moved. I will not be Therefore my heart is glad, in my glory rejoices. My flesh and soul shall rest in hope. In hope.
Rise and measure the temple of God. Measure the altar and those who worship there. But do not measure the court outside the temple, for it is given over to the nations. They will trample the holy city for 42 months, and I will grant authority to my 2 witnesses during those days. If anyone harms them, fire will pour from their mouths and consume their foes. They will have the power to strike the earth with every kind of plague, as often as they desire. And when they have finished their testimony, the beast that reigns over the abyss will rise against them and kill them, and their bodies will lie in the street for 3.5 days. All the nations will see their dead bodies and refuse to bury them. Those who dwell on the earth will rejoice, because these 2 prophets had been a torment to them. But after the 3.5 days, the breath of life will enter them, and they will stand. They will rise to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies will watch them. When the 7th angel blew his trumpet, every voice in heaven called out, saying, "The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forevermore." Then God's temple in heaven was opened, and the ark of his covenant rested within it. And behold, a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed in the sun. The moon was at her feet, and on her head was a crown of 12 stars. She was pregnant and crying out in the agony of birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon with 10 horns and 7 heads, and on his heads were 7 crowns. His tail swept down 1/3 of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth. The dragon stood before the woman who was giving birth, so that he might devour the child. But when she gave birth, the child was caught up to God, and the woman fled to the wilderness, to a place prepared by God. Michael and the host of heaven fought against the dragon and his angels. When the dragon was defeated, there was no longer any place for him. So the great dragon was thrown down, the ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world, was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven, saying, "The salvation of our God and the authority of his Christ has come, for the accuser has been thrown down. They have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth, for the devil has come down to you, and he knows that his time is short." When the dragon had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman that had given birth to the child that was caught up to God. But the woman was able to flee to the place where she is nourished. Then the dragon became furious, and went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God, and hold to the testimony of Christ Jesus.
When the news of the day gets to feeling like a maze, it's okay, don't be afraid if you don't know what to say. Canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on, ahead my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry awaits. Canary, cry awaits. Oh, canary. Changing every day, each and every way you turn, there's another thing to learn. Reading in between the lines, thanking Jesus for our lives, and nice to see his glory shining like the sun. Run the race until it's done. Come on, everyone. Canary, cry aways. Oh, canary, cry aways. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on, I have my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry aways.
Bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary cry, not suppose.